just me.
Jack, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see, it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense, but it makes.
Well, yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling has always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
Yes, I look and see, it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see, it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Get wild. Yeah.
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Popping bottles in the club, like Zack Ryder. When we drink, we do it right. An all-nighter, sipping protein in my ride, like metrics. Now I'm feeling so zacked like a Z6. I'm not afraid to get real tan. Everybody knows I'm the man. Woo, 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 woo. Just riding rough. Woo, 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 woo. Riding rough. If you want my island dicey, baby, there's a price to pay. I'm a broski in a bottle. You gotta rub me the right way. So I pop my collar up, they're playing my song. I'm Zach that ain't alive. Pumping my fist like woo, blowing a kiss like woo. I pop my collar up, they're playing my song. Look at my sick try. Woo, 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 you know it. It's a party in the L.I. Woo, 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 you know it. It's a party in the L.I.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. 3 minutes. 3 minutes off air. 3 minutes off air.
So I talked to Tony last week, and he told me there's a plan. So I just got to trust him. You know, I trusted him before.
You talked to Tone? No way, bud. So did I. What's happening, guys? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Live Show. Yeah. I am your host, Phil effin Marks.
Fucking Mark!
And we are here. We did it. It's another week. Member Monday went down. We watched Raw in the Upside Down. It was pretty sweet. It was okay for what it was. And now it's Wednesday here. And again, I am your host, Phil Marks, and you, of course, are the PWT universe. Yeah. So what's happening, guys? We have AEW Dynamite on in, I think, like under an hour. And yeah, we have, this card was posted. And we have like a bunch of news tonight. Tony Khan responds to William Regal. He also doesn't care if wrestlers die, apparently, allegedly, right?
Allegedly.
And we also have Oba Femi vacating the NXT title, which went down. We're going to talk about that in NXT. And it's been pretty quiet for news overall, and drama and shit. So, but there is some sickos, obviously. There's always something that they're complaining about. And AEW Dynamite is on live tonight. So we're going to check that out. And yeah, make sure you guys vote in the poll in the chat as well. If you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips. Make sure you guys hit like, subscribe, all that stuff, and make sure you vote in the poll. Was Oba Femi vacating the title the right thing to do? Was it the right thing to do? Now, some people may say it was not, like they should have put Javon over or Leon Slater over or someone like that. There was some outrage a little bit, but mostly I think it's a positive. Like, that's what Asuka did. You just vacate that thing and move on. So we'll talk about that tonight as well. And I watched a couple things. I watched the Mr. Beast games with the Bella twins in it, or whatever the fuck it was. It's the Mr. Beast whatever it is, just one of his videos, but it was like to promote Beast games, but it was with a bunch of celebrities, and they were trying to get $1 million for charity or whatever. So I watched that, and I also, what else did I listen to? A Devon Dudley clip with Maven here. And between 2003 and 2005, I had the greatest job in the world. I had the greatest job in the world, being a WWE superstar. Who was a dick? And they talked about good old JR. So we'll talk a little bit about that in a bit as well. So, ladies and germs, make sure you guys hit like and subscribe and all that stuff. And if you're on X, just hit the heart and the retweet or whatever you got to do. I don't know if you talked about this, Phil, but Wrestle Kingdom 20 wasn't sold out. Sent you a clip of a completely empty section. Well, here's the thing. Did they? I mean, that's everything. I don't need to diminish it. I think they did good. They pulled off a good show, and there's a good attendance. So I'm down with it. Okay, so let's just dive right into stuff, guys. Because, let's just look at what's going on Dynamite tonight. So Jim Ross returns to AEW. Willow Nightingale gets a live celebration. The Demand takes on Jungle Jack Perry and Jet Speed. And Luchasaurus is legit hurt. Right when they tried to get that going again. Marina Shafir versus Toni Storm. Sammy Guevara, who is an ROH World Tag Team Champion, is taking on Bandito, who's the ROH World Champion. MJF appears live in Tulsa. And then an AEW Continental Championship Eliminator match. Jon Moxley versus Shelton Benjamin. Now, wasn't there rumors online or something that Dante Martin or someone was stepping in? Or did that already happen? And is Benjamin good? Didn't something happen where he was hurt or some shit? I don't know. I swear we watched a Cringe video of Tone McCann talking about it for 45 minutes. But Benjamin versus Moxley for a title eliminator. So, again, it's Moxley defending his title without really defending his title. in case he puts anyone over, and then he can just get his win back on them in the actual title match. So don't be shocked if like Benjamin gets a win, but then Moxley beats him in like a rematch or some shit, because they have no chill. They're not going to wait. And also, I just don't know why they keep doing this. Now Moxley's gimmick is, I'm the fighting champ of AEW, after zero explanation, zero rhyme or reason. He just fucking is all of a sudden a good guy. After like killing people in Minecraft, literally. So, pardon me, guys. A lights out match. The Ops versus Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland, but it's Hook and Hobbs. And Hobbs deserves way better than this shit, man. Just being paired up with Hook and shit. I don't know. I just think he deserves way, way better than this. And Hangman Page versus Swerve Strickland, rather, teaming up instead of fighting each other, and they're like the odd couple, but they work really well together, and they're doing cool shit, you know, the buckshot into the kill shot or whatever it's called, or the house call, whatever the fuck he calls it now. I mean, they're both good wrestlers, but again, I mean, this is all just building up so that they beat the heel FTR, and then Hangman's in another like odd man tag like he was with Kenny. But Kenny, I guess you could argue, is a bit different of a story because they're in the Elite together, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, man. It was still like the odd couple, like, used to feud story, but I just don't know if the Ops are a big enough force to get these two to put their differences aside. You know, them feuding with the Ops just hasn't been it, man. I think they could have united and brought Moxley down a peg or two, you know, and his crew, and like humble him, and then he becomes a good guy, instead of just, oh, he just taps out a couple times and now he's just like, I'm for the wrestlers, all elite wrestling again, man. Just out of nowhere. Complete. And then while his faction's doing heel shit, but still applauding him in the ring and everything. It's just, I hate this zero explanation tweener shit as well. Like, you got to listen to the crowd, but in AEW, you can't really listen to that crowd, you know, because they're either really quiet or they're going crazy and chanting dumb shit. So Moxley, just, it's the most egregious thing what he's done to AEW the last year. And yeah, I mean, Hangman Swerve, cool. I mean, the match is going to be whatever. Hook is whatever. If you guys like Hook, you like him, there will be zero evolution for Hook until he gets the fuck out of AEW. That's the only time we'll ever see a change in that dude. So if you don't like him now, you're never going to like him as long as he's in AEW, unfortunately. And that's what you can say about a lot of people. So yeah, that's sort of my preview of AEW Dynamite. I feel a sneeze coming on. It's going to come at some point. And when that happens, wait, no, it's going away. I think it's going away. Wait. Okay, it'll come at some point. Sorry. When I deafen you all with a very loud sneeze, I apologize. So let's get into, I just want to take you guys around here to miscellaneous news. I like to start the show with some light news. Okay, and so Phil Marks Out is my other channel. I think I fought the sneeze off. It is my other channel where I talk pop culture and whatnot. Guys, you can super chat in or become a member, and that's how you directly support the show, or just subscribe, hit like, retweet, any of that shit. Devour of God became a new member. Of God. Thank you so much for your membership.
Acknowledge me.
Thank you so much, and enjoy the Monday member shows, which rule. I'm not a shark, I'm a man. Not a shark, I am a man. Dave's tongue has to be bumpy, dry, scabby, right? I don't know, dude. Let's ask Lex.
I don't know.
Me neither, Lex. But I mean, yeah, if it's anything like his skin. It's an appendage, right? I'm assuming it's attached to him. I'm assuming. Oh my God. So let's get into.
God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. My tongue is moist from eating all that Wagyu beef, Brian. Okay, let's go. So, ladies and germs, we have miscellaneous news here. Let me hit the bad news for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
So Richard Holiday is the new ACW World Champion, and I mean, I think this is also crosses over into WWE news in a little bit, but Matt Cardona has been vacating like a handful of these indie titles, right? He had a bunch of them that he has to sort of give up one by one, and the ants go marching, as they say. I don't know. But, you know, Vince Russo talked about Matt Cardona having to leave JCW and leave the title behind and all this. And Richard Holiday is the new ACW World Champion, and he will defend it against Santana Proud, so Mike Santana, and Killer Cross in a triple threat match on March 14th at ACW. Whatever. ACW Awesome Championship Wrestling.
Mike Santana, Richard Holiday, triple threat, ACW heavyweight title.
Holy crap. Let's go.
But yeah, and then there's Big Trouble Ben Bishop there. And so Matt Cardona, yeah, he is no longer to compete in ACW. I think there's a couple titles yet to vacate like that, if I'm not mistaken. Speaking of the WWE crossover, we have a couple stories that sort of bleed into WWE, but you look at Fozzie's UK Eyes on You 2026 UK tour. And I mean, just take a look. They start February 6th, and then they're gone for just the month. So is the WWE in the UK during this time or in Europe still? I'm not sure. I don't think they are because they're there now. But that you could do this is what gives me some doubt. I'm like, dude, he does a Rumble debut or return rather, and then dips out for like a month. I just don't know if that makes sense unless they write it in or they just present him as like he's a one-off, shows up here. And some people are saying he's going to be at the TNA show now, like the debut on AMC, which we'll talk about in TNA news. But I just don't think that'll happen before. It won't. It depends, right? If the AMC show comes second to whenever his debut is in WWE, or I keep saying debut, return is in WWE, then like on just WWE in general, then TNA's, I could see him showing up in TNA, but just after the fact. I could see him showing up in AAA, but he's not going to debut on a AAA show or his return to WWE under that umbrella, quote unquote. He's not going to show up in TNA before going to WWE and getting that monster pop and all of that. So who knows, man? And don't forget, February, March, April 1st AEW show is in Winnipeg, and that's a shoot, brother. So craziness. So speaking of WWE, TJ Wilson tells those training at the Heart Dungeon to tap into the imagination of Brody Lee Jr. The more we tap into this kid's brain, the better off we'll be. And Brody Lee Jr. is definitely going to the Fed. But Tony Khan literally roped this kid, and this isn't a joke. He roped him into a contract when he's 18. He'll have a death match against Moxley. So this kid's going to train, do a death match against Mox on a pay-per-view or some shit in AEW, then dip out to NXT or some shit. That's what I predict. unless, I don't know, he's a child. Hopefully that shit ain't legally binding. You know
We
what I'm saying?
all borrow a little bit of Brody's imagination and that childlike imagination, because that's what wrestling is. It's imagination. I believe I owe wrestling a lot, and I try giving back, and this is part of giving back.
The art of storytelling is a huge thing, and I think that that's one of the things I'm trying to teach younger talent about. Like, you don't have anything unless you have a story.
But then when you realize I'm only 13, you look twice. People don't look twice at me, they look twice at them. Why are they getting the shot? Why are they getting the opportunity? They don't put in the work. What work have they put in? Then they come in here, they see what work I put in. Obviously you come in here and you see a huge ring and you think, wow, like this is crazy. Like people are just learning how to wrestle in here, but it's not just
I don't know. He's cutting a good promo.
that. Because if you really watch, you can see everybody talking on the outside, not just about wrestling, but how their family is and how their life is going. It's helped me as a human being to be kinder. It helps me become more wise, but I don't want people to just look at me and see wrestling. I want people to look at me and see how much work I put in and how I'm a kind person.
I'm really big on people taking their lives and taking control of like success. I say to people, like, I wanted to write my book because it was another example of you got to chase success. Success doesn't just come to you. You got to chase it. You got to run with it. You got to run hard with it. And you can't just wait for other people to hand you things. If you want to train, then you got to find a way to train.
You're in charge of your own creative to a degree. Everything we do, start to finish, our character, our promo, this is all imagination. So who has a better imagination than kids? So the more we can tap into this kid's brain, the better off we'll be.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Trading at the dungeon, it seems like the place to be. So in other news here, let's see, sticking on the topic of like TKO, I guess, Zuffa Boxing is coming to Paramount. And the event will be held at the UFC Apex per Nevada State Athletic Commission, which kind of sucks. And nobody knows who's fighting. And it just kind of sucks that it's at the Apex. I mean, notoriously, people wanted UFC fights to get the fuck out of the Apex. And now this is there, and it's like, I'm not sure how people are really going to react to that. The boxing community's clowning Zuffa Boxing, but it is what it is. Dana White could pull it off. Speaking of pulling it off, Covington versus Rockhold. Colby Covington versus Luke Rockhold at RAF 05. So this is Eric Bischoff's Fed and freestyle wrestling, Real American Freestyle Wrestling Fed. And there's some other matches here. There's Palmer versus Tsarukian, which is crazy. And then Bo Nickel versus Yoel Romero, which is crazy. And then Valencia versus Jackson. This isn't Rampage that Raja Jackson kid. Okay, good. So just some old UFC stars, but grappling is a thing that 50-year-olds can tap dudes out and shit. It's just a matter of like skill. Young guys, I mean, all athletics are young guy sports, but you match two legends up against each other. One guy's more wrestling based, one guy's more jiu-jitsu based, and and then you put a good undercard underneath. And I love this for wrestling in general. I love that grappling is getting like the shine that it should. After all this time. So moving along here, we have some New Japan news, some News Japan, dude. Effective January 6th, Sonata will be taking an indefinite leave of absence with no scheduled return date. Okay. Bullet Club has officially been dissolved. So Yota Tsuji made this faction that dissolved Bullet Club, essentially. And it did go away. Now, there wasn't a mass exodus. Let me X you. There wasn't a mass exodus like we sort of had discussed. A bunch of people were offered contracts or are and have their contracts coming up and all of that shit, allegedly, right? The Knockout Brothers confirmed that they were offered deals from WWE, but turned them down to stay in Nuge. And so, I don't know, Bullet Club, War Dogs, and all that is just done. The lineage of it has officially ended as far as New Japan is concerned. And yeah, shout out the Bullet Club, dude. It was hot while it lasted. It had peaks and valleys. It came at a trippy time as well, where like the Bang Bang Gang is the name, like Bullet Club Gold isn't really a thing, and you know, Judgment Day is its own thing. Like none of they were called like Balor Club, and obviously like Judgment Day is sort of Bullet Club Purple or whatever. We made that joke, but at the same time, it's never been officially labeled. And it's we also see that ABC, unfortunately, like it was like Austin and Bay, and because of his injury, like they split up as well, and they were still holding it down for Bullet Club, but sort of doing their own thing with it for a while. And even that's dissolved if you think about it. So like now is the right time, and it's the perfect time, I think, to maybe some years too late, but either way, Bullet Club no more, dude. So speaking of sort of the lineage of New Japan and Nuge, dude, and their titles, right? Because, you know, Tsuji brought back the V4, as the kids call it. So this guy here, Chris Samza, at the Chris Samza, says there's been some understandable confusion around New Japan's championship landscape and history. So here's the cleanest way to frame what just happened, focusing on lineage, timing, and intent. As of today, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship has been restored, with its lineage formally reconnected through the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship back to the original title, because both were treated as the top title in New Japan during their respective eras. This is a clean continuation. And Dave Meltzer had a little melty about this as well. He was talking about how it's like a mess and they don't consider the last 5 years, whatever. You know, it's a different title lineage and shit. And it's like, nah, dude, it's just the world title. You just do it the way WWE does it. It's all good. People can fansplain it. So Chris Samza says, as of today, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship has been restored. Okay, the IWGP Intercontinental Championship is not part of this restoration. Beginning January 5, 2020, the IC title was concurrent with the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, but the titles were never unified. They remain separate championships, simply held by the same wrestler, until the Intercontinental's titles lineage was formally retired and folded into the Heavyweight Championship. The Intercontinental titles lineage concluded in 2021. So this guy's fansplaining like how to do Nuge, and it's awesome how he lays it out. The global heavyweight title, despite its white strap, should not be viewed as an IC title replacement. Functionally, it is far more accurate to see it as the successor to the IWGP United States Championship. In the lead up to the global title's creation, Ospreay, Finlay, and Moxley were all competing for the U.S. title. The U.S. title went inactive in 23. The global heavyweight title became active in January 24, so like 2 months later, in a match between those same three competitors, clearly inheriting that role within the hierarchy. So like this guy just explains it perfectly. Boom. Leave it to fucking Nuge fans, dude, to lay it out for you. And lastly, TV Asahi drew 3.5 million viewers for Hiroshi Tanahashi's retirement and Aaron Wolf's debut at Wrestle Kingdom 20. From a ratings perspective, it would be the equivalent to a WWE or AEW show doing 10.5 million U.S. viewers live same day. Now, that is Dave, so I don't know if his...
Are you sure about that?
Right? Because someone could pull his card on that, someone from like Tokyo Sports or just whatever. Like a journalist in Japan could be like, that's inaccurate. So I don't know, but I guess we'll just take his word for it. He probably does look into it more than anybody else. More than anybody else that we see. So, yeah, that's good for them if that is the truth. And that, ladies and germs, was miscellaneous news.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Okay, so what time is it? 30 minutes until Dynamite, essentially, here. Let me see here. So, guys, ladies and germs, what is chat saying here? Sorry, I'll check in with you guys. Bad news, Barrett. I'm afraid of 26 early likes. What's up? Run those likes up, guys. Hell yeah. Big Bang is on. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, guys. Sorry, I'm just pulling this up. I'm just checking to make sure. Let's get into what are we gonna do next year? TNA news. We talked about it a little bit. There's a couple things to chit-chat about. And make sure you guys check out patreon.com/pro wrestle times. And let's get into some TNA news. So TNA Thursday Night Impact on AMC. This is 3 days ago. It's set up for 3,000 and they've sold 1,600 tickets. Now, hopefully they moved at least another 1,000 since then. And then this update was 9 days ago. So this is like almost 2 weeks ago when this update was from. I'm sure WrestleTix posted one more recently. It just didn't come up on the timeline. But yeah, we'll see. If they do 3,000, that would be amazing. And hopefully, I'm sure they'll pass it. I'm sure they'll paper it and they'll get accused of that at least. No, they might not have to paper the setup. It's a sellout for the setup again. So who really cares if the setup's only for 3K and you're in this big ass building? Or is it a big ass building? Seats on map 5,000. So 3,000 is aiming high, but I bet they'll hit like 2,000 at least. But who knows if they'll hit 3? But I just want them to have a good house for that debut show. And so speaking of the debut show, Andrew Baydala says, I believe there's a high chance that Chris Jericho will show up on this show. This would make Chris one of the first main event superstars to work wrestle for ECW, WCW, WWE, Nuge, CMLL, AEW, ROH, TNA, and then potentially AAA. So here's the problem. If he doesn't show up on this SmackDown or Raw coming up, or the next couple Raws, then, because when is this again? On the 15th? Yeah, so if he doesn't show up on the next Raw, then there's no way he returns, not even a return, just leaves AEW to go to TNA before WWE. That would be insane. That'd be fucking nuts. Now, if that did happen for them, cool. I'm all for it. Like, I'm not even... It's just a crazy thing Baydala's throwing out there, though. It doesn't even really make sense. And you have people arguing under here like, oh, yeah, of course they do that. The money-hungry company and all this shit. And it's like, yeah, that's why WWE would have him debut on their show, not on TNA. It just doesn't make sense, not for the first one. I could see him being in TNA and AAA. I've said it a long time ago. Jericho for surely will do that. He'll even go to Noah, dude. He's shown up to indies in fucking Thailand or whatever, or Malaysia and shit. Or the Philippines. I can't remember where he was, but he just showed up on some random like Asian fucking indie, and it was awesome, and the crowd was going insane. But I'm just saying, man, I just don't think this will happen. But it would be crazy. But I just don't see them not using it on Raw or whatever. Why would you give that to TNA? They're giving them like Channing Stacks and Lexus King. They're not going to give them, they won't, it's like already hard enough to get them AJ Styles. They're not going to give them Jericho's big, I'm out of AEW. There's no way. Maybe later. Maybe around Mania season or earlier than that. Or next year or something. Or not even next year, like this year, but next WWE year, right? Like after April sometime. So moving along here. Breaking. After an impressive showings following his debut at Bound for Glory, it's Brandon DE has signed with TNA. BDE. So good for him. And I don't know. I think he's a little green, but I guess that's what you can do in TNA, right? Is be a little green and hopefully work your way to NXT or whatever. He's all right. In TNA, they're like, if you're going to be a social media influencer, you're really going to fucking wrestle. Same within WWE. If you're a celebrity, you're going to like at least attempt to take it seriously. Big Boom AJ kind of does that. So breaking, as revealed by the Hardys this morning, former TNA World Champion Joe Hendry will be appearing at TNA Genesis Live on pay-per-view and TNA Plus on January 17 from the Curtis Colwell Center in Dallas, Texas. So if you believe in Joe Hendry, he will be at TNA Genesis, paying it forward. He's also in NXT, heavily involved in NXT, obviously. And yeah, good for Joe Hendry. Apparently he's getting quote unquote called up too. I guess it is call ups, but WWE just doing a shitload of call ups. And it's good to see. Because a lot of these guys, and I even said I was done talking about call ups and shit, because a lot of these guys just cross over first. Like you're Javon and you just wrestle matches and then you fucking get called up, quote unquote. So I'm just down with the way they did it. If at the start of the new year, every year, they just go, hey, there's deals up, and and they can even just kayfabe it. Hey, I'm done in NXT, and then a bunch of people come up. That's the way to do it. Right now, we've seen a bunch of names, and Joe Hendry, I think, will be one of them. And he's awesome because, yeah, he can show up to TNA whenever. When is Genesis, though? Sorry, I should have looked at the date. I know I read it a couple times and I'm redacted, but Jericho and Hendry having a segment in TNA could be really huge at one of their pay-per-views or something. I just don't know about the first AMC show. That's so close. And then he goes on tour with Fozzy right in February. So it's like WWE could book it as, this is my fantasy mark booking for it if you're ready. Here we go. WWE could book it like Jericho returns at the Rumble and then he gets eliminated, whatever. He doesn't have to say anything. And then he can come back in a month. They go, like, they can play it where it's like Jericho's on tour and he can cut a vignette. He could just send it in. And he can be like, yeah, I'm on tour, and when I come back, I'll let everyone know where I sign Raw or SmackDown. Right? And they could play it like that maybe. Then he comes back, and then they sell shitloads of tickets. Or is WWE in the UK around that time as well? I don't fucking know. But that, ladies and germs, was TNA news. All right, Phil Marks, bookmarks. So who's watching Dynamite tonight, guys? Are you guys watching Dynamite with me or what? Okay, so moving along here, let's look at the timeline just quickly. Live on the air, you guys know I like to quickly give it a surf sometimes. And yeah, we want to add this. Here's some Tone. Here's some Tone McCon, dude. We need to add that one. So, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, just dead air. I apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into some WWE news next. We're flying through it today. We're flying through it. Let me check in with chat. What's chat saying today? And yeah, guys, patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times. I think there's a Jody West video on. I'm playing RE7 again. I'm rewatching NXT. Yeah, so we can review NXT and then get into some shit. So let's head over here to Worldwide Wrestling Federation news. And let's talk about NXT a little bit. Guys, nordvpn.com/ProWrestleTimes as well. Be a good deal for you folks. Here, real quick, though, did you guys see this this hockey fight?
Center stage.
Of course, it was a work. It was a work on ice, bro. Yeah, that was awesome. So, okay, we got like 20 minutes till AEW. I'm checking if Tony Khan is live again. We have one of his lives in here, but I'm just on Tony Khan. Wow. Let's see. Okay, so he's taking videos from the SIs. Jesus Christ. So he just illegally streamed. Oh my God. Yeah, we're gonna do that as well. Okay. So Tone needs to get some NordVPN, dude. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into WWE. NordVPN.com/ProWrestleTimes, folks. Save you some money and protect yourself online. So Javon Evans has officially been called up to Raw. We were talking about call-ups before. This is awesome. Good for him. It's kind of whack that he signed during the commercial break, but again, it's streaming, so they know people will just see it after or see it online or whatever. They save some bits to put online and stuff. It's the game they're playing. It's all good, but yeah, Javon Evans at 21. He is signed to Raw. I think it's a good fit for him. I thought for sure them testing him on SmackDown and those different tag teams would ultimately lead to him showing up there. But either way, Raw is a good little switch to get him up there. Oba Femi as well, I think, is going to be on Raw, if I'm not mistaken. And who else? Speaking of Oba Femi, at NXT New Year's Evil, he vacated the title. I put a poll in the chat. Let me know in the comments down below. Was that the right move? I think it is. Asuka did it, and people loved it. Oba Femi does it. People are just going to cry about it because this is the age of just cry about the Fed that you don't like as much. And you have people split, but it's not even really split. It's split as like a 70-30 at the most of wrestling fans, of people who fucking like WWE and people, and then like the 30% who like AEW more and are just like incredibly sicko about it. You guys already know. And like Brian Alvarez, just still shitting on NXT. He's just crying about all these people getting called up, and then they call them all up, and then he's just still shitting on it. And either way, doesn't matter. But Oba Femi's called up. Jordan Grace. They're talking about Blake Monroe possibly being fast-tracked. They're talking about who else? I said Jordan Grace. I swear there's another woman I'm missing their name. Either way, doesn't matter. A good handful of folks. And I think it was the move. I just think Oba Femi's like the dominator of NXT. I just thought it would have came sooner. That's all. I just thought it would have came sooner. Like all those, when he didn't have the belt and was disappeared for a long time, he could have just went up to the main roster. So for whatever reason, they wanted to have him be the ruler of NXT, dude. And he is. So it's all good with me. When you vacate it to go up, I think that is the move. That's the sports way to do that. Like when you go to the UFC, you vacate your fucking King of the Cage title or whatever you have. It happens all the time. You know, WFA, whatever feds are out there, whatever MMA feds are out there. You vacate your title and then you move up to the UFC. You don't go defend it in both or whatever. Now, some people could be like, oh, come on now, Phil, that's not very fair. You know that. Chat me up. There's a lot to unpack here about NXT being, people show up with NXT titles all the time. And I get that. I do get that. If they kept the brand splits, like actually split, then yeah. Then it would make more sense for sure. But at the same time, do you really give a fuck that he vacated? Or are you guys just happy he's going to the main roster? And it's not like it's some egregious bullshit. The question is, who does he beat? He fucking destroyed everyone, then gets called up. That is the guy who should be called up too. You know, that is the guy who should be like, okay, I beat everyone here. Let me go and move on to bigger and better things, you know? So I don't mind it at all. And just because there's a history of this in NXT of people vacating fucking belts and then moving on up to the east side. So, yeah, Slater could become champion. And I don't know, you just see people crying, like people who just claim they hate the Fed crying about that shit. Whereas, like, I don't claim I hate AEW, so I reserve the right to cry about it and WWE, folks, as far as I'm concerned. But speaking of young folks getting hyped up here, Ilio LaFleur, he's saying, see you soon, NXT. He cuts his promo off.
Après plus de 10 ans.
So, 10 ans. And de Paris en France jusqu'aux États-Unis, here to slash the sky. So, Ilio LaFleur is going to be in NXT, and I bet we'll see him. I think he's going to be one of these guys that possibly gets fast-tracked to the main roster, or who knows, maybe he just holds their whatever the fuck title for a long time. I could just see him being a big player. He's got size. He's cool in that mask. He's got long, flowy golden hair. He can flip around. He can really work. Or at least they're developing him so he can really work. And yeah, he's ready. This guy's ready. So don't need to hide him in AAA or nothing. And Dave Meltzer gives him lots of stars, I think. So speaking of Raw and SmackDown and all that shit, or let me circle around here, because Blake Monroe, actually, while we're talking about NXT, she talks some shit about Ava Rain on social media, The Rock's daughter, who is also the GM or commissioner or whatever of NXT. And she was like, you're a Nepo baby bitch. And like, Blake Monroe was like, don't make me call your dad or whatever. And they're obviously working, but the Nepo baby bitch one obviously struck a chord, and she obviously, I'm willing to bet, got a fucking phone call that was like, and it could have been The Rock on the, no, it wasn't The Rock, but you know, someone was on the other end of the phone. Shut up, bitch! And told her to delete that shit. And obviously that's the no-no, is like, you can't say nepotism or lack of charisma or whatever the fuck. You can't do that, or else, you know, you're going to get cooked and fucking told to delete your tweets, or you can't say that on TV. That's clearly the one. So it is what it is. Punk said Nepo baby to Braun last week. Exactly. That's sort of the favoritism is what we're seeing. Like, that sort of proves it right there. He can say it to Braun Breaker because that's something that he never said. Hey guys, don't say that about me. But with Ava, it's like, clearly they don't want people saying that because she has had social media spats with people over fucking being called Nepo baby and stuff, you know, like big public ones. So, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. And Blake's a profesh, so that's what she's gonna do. But speaking of like indies and underneath and whatever, Matt Cardona came from the indies and NXT and TNA and all that shit, and he had to vacate another title, the World Series Wrestling Championship, WSW Championship, and they'll crown a new champion in May.
Complete Matt Cardona. I've got some good news, some bad news, but then some more good news. Good news.
And people are like, he really Mercedes Monet'd this and shit. And it's like, well, you guys, I don't know. You guys aren't putting him over like a Mercedes Monet. He's not running around saying he beat Ultimo Dragon and shit. Like, Tone was the one who made a stink about it. And Matt Cardona has proven with his work that he's elevated the indies and everything. Elevated GCW and elevated every Fed he's gone to and indie he's gone to. He's proven that. So I don't know about Monet if she I mean, the indie promoters claim that she has, and I don't think she's helped AEW much, but at least the indies. I don't know if that was her goal, but either way.
After 5 years of busting my ass all over the world for places like World Series Wrestling, I am finally back in WWE. But unfortunately, that means I must vacate the World Series Wrestling Championship. I won't be there in May, but the good news is the show goes on without me. The good news is that the Rise Against Tour, there will be a new World Series Wrestling champion. I was proud, so proud to be the champion, not once, not twice, but 3 times. World Series Wrestling, all you fans in Australia.
And that's the thing, too. People got to realize when WWE go, yeah, it's time. Like, we'll sign you. You just got to jump at it. So, of course, in hindsight, I'm sure Cardona wish he had the foresight to, again, it's not like he wants to go beat himself to oblivion,
Master
right?
need to oblivion.
But I'm sure he would have went and dropped some of these belts. I'm sure he would have done it. He just didn't know. And you can tell he didn't know because he was showing up everywhere. JCW, NWA, showing up everywhere, winning titles. Then boom, all of a sudden he gets the phone call. You're not going to turn that down. And so he has to vacate the shit. It's cool that he can shoot this promo and do his pod and discuss all this shit himself too and sort of promote these feds and these indies in a way. But at the same time, it is sort of it's kind of it sucks, man, but you don't ever skip that call from WWE when they give it to you, man. You don't skip it because you know that window could close. So let's talk about Raw and SmackDown and the main stuff. Why is this collision stuff in WWE news? I fucked up. I fucked up. I fucked up. I fucked up. Let's see here. Let's put this in AEW news. I don't know how that snuck in there. AEW, just like one of their commercials, hey? Just sneaks in there during some WWE.
You fucked up.
Okay, so Raw. WWE announces that Godzilla by Eminem featuring Juice WRLD is the new official theme song. They officially ditched Travis Scott. Cool, I guess. I didn't mind hearing it throughout Raw. It's just a boppy little, fast little rap tune there. Speaking of Raw, for the 3rd week in a row, last week's WWE Raw didn't crack the Netflix Global Top 10 list, although it did crack the US chart at 8. Stranger Things dominated the top 10 again, securing 5 of the top 10 spots. Now, when I went and looked today, NXT was number 6 in Canada and Raw was number 3 in Canada. So doing really well. But yeah, Stranger Things dominating, and everyone thinks there's like a hidden episode. Have you guys been locked into Conformity Gate, dude? I'm super locked into Conformity Gate. And yeah, I don't think it's true, but that there's this hidden Stranger Things episode. I don't think that it's true, but I don't get why people are mad that fans are fanning out and like fantasy mark booking. Stranger Things, that's the cool thing about shows and comic books and everything, is you get to like, and like MCU, that's 90% of the fun, especially now with the MCU, because it was kind of been in a lull for a long time, is like, and DCU is like fantasy mark booking, what could happen and what they might pull from the comics, and trying to connect who this actor that they announced is going to play and shit. That's some of the fun. That's some of the fun with comic books, debating what could happen in a storyline or who would win if they fought in a certain setting and whatnot. That's part of the fun. So people fantasy mark booking and trying to dissect hidden codes, and they're like hashtag conformity gate, and it's like, okay, I guarantee that's not gonna if it did happen, that'd be crazy. I'd be here for it. But then there's the other half of the fucking internet in pop culture land, like super mad at people for just having fun with the show. Maybe they're just mad that their timelines are plugged up with it, but it's fun. It's fun to conspiracy theorize about, and it's really cool because one of the things, this is what I meant to say as well. That's what I meant to bring up. One of the points in Conformity Gate, and if you guys don't know what Conformity Gate is, essentially Stranger Things episode 5 ended, or episode 5, pardon me, season 5, episode 8 ended, and that was the finale, quote unquote. A lot of people think that they're pointing out a lot of strange abnormalities and things that don't fit within the plot, and it's like either the Duffer Brothers butchered the show so bad, and that was like just a bad season or series finale rather, or they were so meticulous that Vecna, the prank is like they're breaking the fourth wall, and it's almost like a prank on the audience. Not a prank, but like sort of is a prank if you really, I think about the definition technically, but it's sort of like a gotcha or like a fourth wall break. It's meta, like New Nightmare, Freddy Krueger, New Nightmare, right? It's like a meta documentary where Freddy Krueger's actually real, but it's obviously the actors are playing themselves. Whatever. People have all these theories that there's a hidden 9th episode that's supposed to come out tonight. I think it would have been out by now, though. Okay? And so it was cool because one of the pieces of Conformity Gate was the guy in the crowd with the sign on Raw, the upside down Raw, Stranger Things crossover Raw on Monday, and a guy was holding up a sign that said, "Wake up, Mike." And part of the theory is that Mike, if you guys watch Stranger Things, if you don't, then I'm sorry. It's not even really spoiling shit. Just one of the theories is that Vecna, like, at some point in the last season, slipped him into got to him, and then what we've been seeing from a certain point has been like an altered reality. And there's tons of compelling evidence that could indicate that. But if not, then the Duffer Brothers are they're genius and they are fucking with everyone. They're just not telling you. And there isn't a secret episode. They just decided to fuck with everybody. I could totally see that too. But go and check out hashtag Conformity Gate if you guys are into that. It's awesome. I might do a stream about that shit tomorrow over on my Phil Marks Out channel. But anyways, for the third week in a row, the Stranger Things Raw, which was a crossover with Stranger Things, it didn't crack the global top 10 list, but it did crack the US chart at number 8. However, in Canada, it's number 3. I think right next to Stranger Things, which is number 2 right now. I think there's a show ahead of it that just came out today, and that's why, obviously, more people jumping on. But anyways, though, NXT was 6 as well. Data for last night's Raw headline by CM Punk versus Breakker will be available next week if the show cracks the top 10. So there you go. What else do we have about Raw here? I'm not sure. We might have to switch over to, SmackDown. Or pardon me, we were just talking about Netflix. So official announcement, and shout out at the Raj Giri. Go and give him a follow. So Raj Giri posts this official announcement from Netflix that they've become the official home of WWE, of the WWE library in the United States. January 6, 2026, Netflix and WWE today announced an expansion to their long-term partnership that will see the world's leading entertainment service become the home of WWE's library in the U.S. Beginning immediately, Netflix is the new U.S. home for WWE's library of premium live events prior to September 25, as well as award-winning documentaries and original programming. This follows the January 25 launch of WWE on Netflix, where Monday Night Raw has become a weekly staple in the global English top 10. Past episodes of Monday Night Raw are also, do you see how they value it? A weekly top 10 English-speaking staple, boom. Like, this is shit Dave ain't even talking about. The arrival of WWE's library. So, yeah, I don't know. When people are like, every single Raw, I don't know. You tell me now. But you weren't going to watch every single Raw anyways. So hopefully you guys all go back and watch every single Raw, because that's all anyone can talk about when it comes to this library shit. But moving along here, let's talk about SmackDown. So at the KFC Yum Center in Louisville, they sold 5,000 tickets. Now, this is for a February 27 show. So this is a while out. But it's set up for 8K. Tickets distributed 5. They'll hit the 8, but like, damn, you guys see this? SmackDown. And by the way, SmackDown, I think NXT beats SmackDown even in the Canada top 10. Maybe I'm off on that, but I think the NXT stays in the top 10 longer. I might just be making that up. Let me start tracking that. I'm actually going to start making note of it, because I swear NXT's always in the top 10 over SmackDown. Like, you hardly see SmackDown in the top 10. But either way, and like, it'll be in the top 10, but I just think Raw dominates and NXT does better. I'm going to start tracking it. But either way, yeah, SmackDown just kind of like in a lull, and it's because it's a repetitive show in a way where, and a lot of the people on the show, I don't think, Raw's clearly been hitting way harder. Now, SmackDown is awesome. Like, they have some good matches, but even Carmelo Hayes, he's like, I'll keep the open challenge alive. It's like, fuck you too. We're all just doing open challenges. We don't have, we don't have like shit we can sink our teeth into, really. And it's because, that's just like banger match time, which is fine. That's fine. But 3 different guys in a row, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know if I'm feeling it. The tag division, they're doing their thing. They're starting to beef it up a bit with Cardona and other people on SmackDown. But it's always like, hey, we're setting up a tag match for later. Priest and Black finally finished their feud, which I don't know. I wasn't really mad at how long it went, and it culminated in an ambulance match. I don't really mind that at all. It was just like the TV feud. And the problem is like, okay, those guys would be doing that shit on TV, building up to a PLE, but that would be like the house show, them doing no DQ matches in the main event of like the house show loops, but they don't do as many. And when they do, they're like big affairs where Rhodes or Punk or, someone big, one of the main big guys has got to be on it. And so Priest and Black just did that on TV, and I'm not mad at it. It's just, but SmackDown definitely feels like a bit of an afterthought show besides the Rhodes Drew stuff. And I would love to see Drew win that title finally. And it'll get better when, Jacob Fatu comes back and stuff, but it's just sort of, SmackDown just needs to reignite a little bit. That's all. It just needs a little spark of something. And I think it's starting to happen though with Rhodes as well. Like, everybody's kind of, hey man, I'm coming after that title, just so you know. And he kind of walks alone inside this pit of danger, right? Like Batista. So, moving along here, SmackDown ratings were up again from the prior week for last Friday's episode, despite the show moving to 3 hours. 18 to 49 was the highest in over a month. So here's your boy Phil Marks talking shit, and look, the people tuned in. Right? So there you go. Who the fuck am I to trash any of it, But and I'm not even trashing it. It's just I feel like comparatively, there's a reason like SmackDown can't just, hey, SmackDown's in town. They can't just sell 10K tickets the way Raw does, you know? There's a reason for that, and then it's not like it's dead. It's a dead show. I'm not even trying to lend any fucking credibility to the sickos talking shit about that. But like, for instance, I look over at trending, hashtag Raw is trending right now still. It's Wednesday, and it just popped up trending again. Why? You know? Because there's just more to talk about from Raw, and people just seem to complain lately about SmackDown. Now, again, I put over the Black Priest thing. I think Vega just, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just a Vega hater, but she just doesn't, for me, it's just not, it hasn't been for a long time. You know, it just ain't hitting, hasn't been for a long time for me with Vega. I like that they put her with Black, but I don't even really think I mean, it was good to get the Rhea Ripley spot and all that, but, you know, but again, I also am a proponent of like more managers. So I think Vega is better in this role than being like a singles wrestler. She doesn't need to be that. So I'm not trying to diminish it at all, but, yeah, that would be my critique. And then I love the Rhodes Drew stuff, even though some people online are kind of getting tired of it. The stuff I don't like is how the tag division is sort of frozen because the Wyatts have those belts and they're just in this, like it's a 4-on-4 again or whatever the fuck between the MFT and the Wyatt Six, and the belts are just kind of frozen and everything's just kind of frozen in place right now until they figure that whole situation out. And then I don't know, the tag division's like taking turns fighting for the US title. That's the shit I don't like. Again, AEW doing the Megan O'Leary with Renee Paquette. Bonus points. Speaking of things that I like. There you go. So moving along here. Oh yeah, what was the rating? 1.175 million viewers, 0.28 in the key demo, up 3%, up 4%. So SmackDown trending upwards, which pretty good. Pretty good to see. So we have some thises and that's in WWE news. New WrestleMania commercial with celebrities and athletes begging Triple H to be a part of the show. Now, WWE is going to for surely snipe me for this one. Dude, I'm an affiliate. I'm a shop affiliate. Okay, Fed? Don't fucking hit your boy Phil with whatever. But if I do have to clip this out, the unedited, uncensored version of the live shows are on patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times. But I'm just going to play it for you guys because fuck it. YOLO! And I'll just pause it a bunch like this, and then I'll talk, and then we'll do it. And then the commenters after will be like, why are you pausing it so much?
Yeah.
Hi, Triple H. Mania pitches just came in. Top of your inbox.
I will take a look now. Thank you.
And he's in his leather jacket instead of his business suit to be cool, man. Big Dom and Cooper DeJean, who's dating Nikki Bella. And of course, Pete Davidson's there lurking around the Bellas.
Triple H.
Eric Andre.
It's Eric Andre.
What are we looking to see, bro?
I show speed.
Bonjour, Mr.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, he rules. No hate on Lin-Manuel from me, okay? That ain't about a rake and a fucking turd. You do it. You give him the money to do it. and texting him. And so is this, I guess, yeah, his way of marketing, because Triple H has said that, like, oh, all these celebrities and rappers, Brian, want in on WrestleMania and stuff, and they do. That is a shoot. And so that's his way of being like, look how cool this is. And then all those celebrities can share it around on their socials and shit. I don't know why they don't lean into Danielle Fishel, dude. Pod meets world. That pod rules. And she has wrestlers on Pod meets world a bunch. So No Travis Scott notice either. So AJ Styles was on The Undertaker's live pod with Michelle McCool. Now, she was kind of kayfabing and calling out AJ for being like a coward or a little bitch or something. And the crowd was like, oh, and she's like, no, like in character, not in real life. But she's just real Cringe. Should I get that clip? Should I pull it up? Is it wrong of me that I didn't bookmark it? I was like, oh, I'm not bookmarking this shit. Because I was like, she's clearly just working, but it made people like upset, and it was kind of Cringe, and she just kind of ruins the show. I'm not gonna lie. Let me look it up here for you guys. Let me look something up here for you guys. Michelle McCool, AJ Styles. Yeah, so let's play this clip. So basically what happened was, I'll play this first clip where, AJ Styles reveals that the match he had with John Cena in Australia, John Cena got some heat for that intro.
A love letter to pro wrestling. And that was the coolest thing he could ever say, because that's exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to kind of pay homage to the guys that we have wrestled in the past, and he did it with a lot of the WWE guys, of course, and I did it with some TNA guys, and I kind of spiced some WWE guys.
Before the match started, you already get hooked with the ring announcement.
Oh man, he got me.
You didn't know
I had no idea. So I will say this before we get to that. If you're wondering why I was wearing shorts, there was a magazine cover and I was wearing that gear.
Nostalgia.
It was two guys who just thought, I'm going to wear that gear.
There was all sorts of nostalgia.
It was two guys who.
There was all sorts of nostalgia. Oh yeah? Oh yeah, you think? You don't say, huh?
You never thought would be in the ring together, same age, one's in this company, one's in that company. And so I get to the ring, and John comes in, does his entrance. I'm stretching, getting ready to rock. And he gives this paper to the announcer, and I was like, "What? I wonder what that is." I'm stretching, and I hear the definition of total nonstop action. I was like, what? Is he talking about me? And then you'll see me look over like, you son of a gun, you got me. Yeah. And that was really cool. And he got Bullet Club was going to be in there. If you watch my reaction, I was like, whoa, So really cool of him to make me feel like a superstar as he was at that moment. So it was really cool.
Let's take a look at it, because it's worth seeing.
So he got heat in the back. I don't know. I must have just skimmed through it. So it was just like a brief mention, and everyone's like, oh my God, did you hear? He got in a little bit of heat, a little bit of trouble. But it's like, it's Cena, bro. Who gives a fuck? So, okay. Now let's hear Michelle McCool just Cringe everyone out with her Cringe.
Okay, this is where I have a little bone to pick with you.
And so it seems like it's a shoot, and then she kind of kayfabes, but it's like, are you being real or not? And then Undertaker has to sit there like, bro, come get your girl. No.
It's not bad, but I mean,
Good luck.
Now y'all are we had the
I'm leaving it small because they're crazy about these Fanatics pods.
entrances, y'all are face to face, you're talking trash like a great Hillwood. No, but you're backing up the whole time like the coward you are, just chirping. But no, I mean in the match, like not in real life. In the match, right?
That was still AJ Styles, yes.
So my question is,
it's like he just gets emasculated by her on his buddy's pod. Like, what the fuck?
Why you gotta bring
guys? Chat, fuck you. We're Chalktobering this, okay?
me into it and get all personal.
Listen to the crowd's reaction. Oh man. Oh, and this is a pod. This isn't like, oh, we're getting heat, brother. No, dude, this is a fucking live pod.
Wrestling's not fake.
My word, man.
Question is, why you gotta bring me into it and get all personal?
Oh my God, lady, it's pro wrestling. Like
a girl sitting at home.
We're going to have to move the furniture.
Didn't do anything.
He's trying to hurt his feelings, you know? I thought, does Michelle know you're...
God damn it, man. We have to look at The Undertaker this way. We have to look at The Undertaker this way. Are you kidding me? I'm used to seeing him chokeslam people who disrespect him in his yard, right?
You're out this late? Because you're old?
Oh.
Mind you, I'm pretty old myself in that match. Like, we're two old guys out there.
That match aged us both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man. That was it the match or your wife, bud? Oh, no. I'm just joking, guys. So moving along here in WWE news, you guys are just pissed or what? In WWE news on another pod, Finn Balor shares that he smokes weed while training. Okay. And tons of people do that. So they have whole like jujitsu tournaments where they smoke weed. They like hot box and then everybody rolls and they'll do like a tournament. So I posted this. Your boy Phil Marks posted this. I'm watching the new Mr. Beast video. So Mr. Beast dropped a video and you guys, in 14 minutes, it had like 400,000 views. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, I would love if one video did that ever. But anyways, I'm watching the new Mr. Beast video that the Bella twins are in. Every celebrity has their full name or gimmick on their jerseys, except for the Bellas. Theirs just read Nikki and Brie. Further proof WWE don't want Brie back, in my opinion, LOL. They were referred to as WWE Hall of Famers, but no name graphic. Like neither of them got a name graphic. And they did play clips of them both winning titles individually, which was cool to see. And Mr. Beast only really talked to Nikki Bella when he went to talk to them. And Brie Bella made it further than Nikki Bella in the competition. Nikki was eliminated in round 2. So basically, I forget what the first round was, but a bunch of people could sit out. And then it was like a celebrity thing where whoever won got $1 million for whatever charity that they wanted, right? And I won't spoil who won. Somebody writes underneath, where can we watch? It's Mr. Beast, bud. It's on fucking YouTube. But basically, they were on this... They did this thing where they had to hold these posts, like hug around them like koalas, essentially, and just see how long they could hang on. And Nikki Bella fell off, and then Brie was like shaking, but then someone else fell off right before she like pretty much had to let go. So she made it to the top 8. Brie was in the final 8. Then she got eliminated, and she got eliminated by, it's like 3 people in a room. They're all playing against each other. They have to just call Mr. Beast and then say, we want to like roll dice, or we want to fucking play Twister, or we want to have an eating contest. Like you just think of it's like marbles in Squid Game, right? You think of a game, whatever game it is, Mr. Beast will bring it to you, and then you play it, and then you get eliminated, whatever. I'll spoil who wins. Fuck it. It's Steve-O won. And like a bunch of celebrities were in it, like Howie Mandel and like Diplo and one of the girls from K-pop, Demon Hunter, and Cedric the Entertainer was there, and Jay Farrow. I'm trying to remember as many as I can. Selma Blair, which was crazy. But yeah, it was all right. And Brie did really well. But again, they didn't give them a graphic that said like WWE whatever. Like Nikki Bella. They didn't call them Nikki and Brie Garcia or Bella. Well, they did say the Bella twins are WWE Hall of Famers, which they are. Which WWE can't tell them to not do that. But Nikki Bella and then Brie Bella, like was Brie not allowed to have Bella on her jersey? Everyone had their gimmick name, like Diplo said Diplo. Cedric the Entertainer, Cedric the Entertainer. Steve-O, Steve-O. Howie Mandel was in it. His jersey said Howie Mandel, first and last name. but Nikki and Brie were just Nikki and Brie, no Bella, no Garcia. So it was curious. I don't know. I just thought I'd note that and bring it to the show and the PWT universe, because that's what we do here. So let's get into this last little story of CM Punk just fucking pissing people off in interviews today. And yeah, he just said, fuck it, we're going to go off. And so CM Punk said, Freddy Krueger molested children, and people who are stoked on him, I guess that makes him a Republican. And people are stoked on him. So I don't know, man. Listen, your politics aside, and all that shit runs rampant in all of fucking the government. Just look at whatever. But here's the thing. Punk is a guy, and you guys know I'm a punker. You guys know your boy Phil has held it down for Punk, but he went to Saudi and fucking apologized because the government there, you know what I'm saying? For money and shit. So no one cares. Don't Bill Burr yourself. Bill Burr's podcast lost half its viewers because he went and did a fucking thing in Saudi, and he's been coping about, it's like, no one cares. Just say you did it for the money. But instead he's been coping about it. And even Bill Burr's lost half his fucking audience on his show. And people speculate he's like trying to get himself fired and shit. It is what it is. When you go to goddamn Saudi, you're doing it for the money. That's what you care about at the end of the day. So don't start like coming over here and fucking trashing. I don't know. And like, I'm not even American, so I don't give a fuck. But at the end of the day, I'm North American, goddammit. But at the end of the day, it's like, Punk, you kind of gave up your rights, pal. No, not that. But like, you gave up the credibility or the benefit of the doubt that people are going to give you when it comes to shit like that. Just shut up. You know what I mean? So anyways, it's dumb to get political. I don't know why people do it. But moving along here, CM Punk says that social media has damaged a lot of people's brains, and it has. It has. And he says, I've said messed up stuff in character that people in real life will then turn around and say to me like it's some sort of gotcha. I'm like, it's a television show. Which, yeah, that's brain dead. So let's listen to Punk talk about it on Sirius XM on Busted Open. And that is kind of brain dead. But if someone whipped out the, were you in character with the Saudi thing, bro? You know, that's, don't equate that to that. What I'm saying still stands, right?
I think social media has damaged a lot of people's brains and increased like the parasocial relationships people have with a lot of the wrestlers
and just everyone in general.
So where I have done dastardly things as CM Punk on TV, and I have said messed up stuff in character that people in real life will then turn around and say to me like it's some sort of a gotcha. And I'm like that was a television show. Like what? Yeah. I think so.
I don't know. I think wrestlers and comedians are the two areas of entertainment where you can cop out and be like, oh, it's just working, pal. Or like a comedian can just be, it's just jokes, guys, you know? Or like, that's just how comedians are and shit. I don't know. I'm not hating on them, but at all. But yeah, if people are, I'm just for what he's talking about, not to move the goalposts and make it about something else. What I was saying before, like if people are throwing kayfabe lines back at any wrestler and being like, oh, you said this on the wrestling show, that is super redacted. We can all agree on that. But here's CM Punk defending Jey Uso here. Okay.
Jey Uso in every arena, like he's like, I'm battling with John Cena and Jey Uso as who sells more t-shirts on any given night. Everybody's going crazy for his music. They're yeeting. They want him to run it back. This dude can go out on TV for 10 minutes and just yeet.
Yeah.
But then if you went on the internet, oh, he's the worst wrestler alive. Is he? Or are you just extremely hyperbolic? Everything nowadays, this is the best thing ever. This is the worst thing ever. I don't like this, so you have to not like it too. And it's really just like what you like, champion that. I try to stay away from the negativity.
Yeah.
Jey Uso is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
He is.
let's just be honest here. Jay's super over. I don't mind him at all. I like the Usos. You guys already know my feelings towards it. I like the Usos better as a fucking tag team. I like what they're doing now again. Some people may be like, oh, they're just going back to something they've done in the past, but both Usos have expressed that they don't necessarily have a shitload of time left. And especially as individuals, they both said like they kind of want to go back and become a tag team and then become a heel tag team and sort of end on that run. So we're seeing the babyface half. We'll see like a year of them being a heel team probably, and then they'll probably dip out for a while or whatever. But what Punk is saying is true. The t-shirts, like the Jey Uso super over. Hogan wasn't the greatest wrestler, and people go, oh, he could work. Look at what he did in Japan and shit. And Hogan could work, and Jay can work. It's not that he can't work, but as a singles, as an individual, he gets blown up in the ring. We're just talking in ring. He gets blown up. He's not the greatest like storyteller ever in the ring. And he botches a little bit, you know, a little here and there. However, wrestling isn't just about doing the crazy shit, you know? And we've been over this a million times. When you're fucking over, you're over. Stone Cold adopted a brawling style. He hurt his neck and he had to change to a brawling style, and it suited his character. And he didn't really do any moves after that. The Rock didn't really do a lot of moves, never really has. Roman Reigns didn't really do a lot of moves. Hulk Hogan didn't really do a lot of moves. Even Goldberg, he could do crazy judo shit and some leg locks and stuff like that. He was into martial arts early on, the MMA style and all that. However, he didn't really do a lot of moves, right? And he got super fucking over. And you could point to lots of guys where that's the case. The majority, I'd say, of the GOATs didn't do a lot of shit. Even like look at a guy like Bret Hart as well. Nothing he did was that crazy. He just did everything with so much intensity, so much everything he did meant something. That's what I miss about fucking Bret. You watch old Bret matches on the Vault and you're like, fuck, every wrestler just needs to watch him to learn how to work as far as like what to do in between the moves and when you're doing the moves, how to make your punches look and shit. Like Bret was real to me, damn it. And yeah, that's the shit that's missing overall is like what Bret had. And he didn't really do anything crazy. He's considered one of the GOATs. He just did like good wrestling, you know? So most of the GOATs, John Cena, you know, they don't do a lot of moves. So Jey Uso, yeah, he just sort of has like 5 moves he can do. He has other guys doing shit. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, you have to do crazier shit with wrestlers. You got to do crazier moves with some of these guys. And yeah, like Hulk Hogan wasn't going to take a Frankensteiner off the top rope or whatever, but guys like Jay and Punk, they got to do that. And it just is what it is, man. It is what it is.
100%. We just live these.
He's super over. I wouldn't say he's like fantastic in the ring, but Jay's awesome, you know?
Lives that are so public that everybody wants to.
I'd rather be a Jey Uso than a Darby Allin, right, chat? I'd rather get over like Jay has and just yeet to the fucking ring and get over that way instead of having to like destroy and rip my body apart like Darby Allin.
Point fingers and like laugh if we slip on a banana peel or make a mistake. Jey Uso in every arena, like he's like I'm battling with.
So again, a lot of people got mad at Punk for that shit. And speaking of mad at Punk, so crying Brian here. Okay, so we got crying fucking Brian, who responds to CM Punk here because for some reason he's taking what CM Punk has to say personally. Brian does, because it's like this weird old guy projection where, and he gets this from Dave Meltzer, hanging around Dave Meltzer too much. You know, he thinks that everything's directed towards him that Punk says, because he's got this little feud. People say, you know, he's all dick hurt over Maria Kanellis or some shit. I don't know. That's a lifetime ago, but either way.
Guys, hear what CM Punk said today, by the way?
Oh, no.
So this is what he said. He was asked about the John Cena finish of all things. If you didn't like it, I can also understand that. But to overnight make it your entire personality and spend an unhealthy amount of time talking about it, put it this way, he says, if John won, they'd be mad about that too. No, I wouldn't have been angry if he won. I argued for months that the guy should have won his final match. That's number one.
Okay, so Punk is saying they. He's not talking about, like, why did Brian take this all personally?
That's always everybody's saying. It's like when you complain about something, they go, well, if the opposite would have happened, he would have still complained. No, I guarantee if John Cena would have beaten Gunther, I would not have complained. And the other thing is...
No, see this? That's what people say. Well, if the opposite happened, he still would have complained. Brian, he wasn't talking about you, you fucking crybaby. Like, what are you talking about, dude?
Brian.
He wasn't even talking about you specifically. Brian took it personally. And it's like, maybe you wouldn't have cried, but we're talking like the sickos would fucking cry. That's what people mean when they say they. It's like the critics, the people who just are clearly focused on just like, I'm going to hate on the Fed and shit. And then you have a bunch of pods that are like that. You have a bunch of these Twitter accounts with a lot of followers that are strictly like that. And I mean, I'm sure there's some that just only hate on AEW. Not, I'm sure. I know there are. But at the same time, we're just talking about, he said they, Brian's taking it as him. And he's like, everyone says that he would just complain. Yeah, but Punk wasn't saying that about you, buddy.
Still
He's just saying
complain.
he's speaking in general.
No, I guarantee if John Cena would have beaten Gunther, I would not have complained. And the other thing is, oh my God, the guy who said he didn't give up just gave up. Did he? Yeah, he did. UFC fighter? That's what a tap out is. I give up. What do you mean, did he? Yeah, he gave up. Can you imagine? Guys here would see him.
The problem is that he's sitting there. That's what a tap out is. In MMA, I give up. And it's like, I don't know, man. MMA fighters wouldn't. Even Shayna Baszler, right? Fought in UFC and everything. And she's like, well, maybe tapping out isn't giving up. Like, I get it. Technically, yeah, he gave up in the contest. He quit. But at the same time, it's like, if you get starch KO'd, did you give up, Brian? Because that's how it's viewed in MMA. And so he's sitting here not talking to filthy Tom Lawler, who would likely tell him that. If Tom Lawler was sitting there and it wasn't these guys, he would check him on that, I guarantee. Because when you get starched in MMA, it's not like quitting. And when someone locks in a sub and you quit, it's like, he's just taking it so personally and seriously. And this is why, because Brian's been scrambling lately because he's been getting clowned for all this like fake NXT outrage. And then right when they actually call people up after he's been crying about it, he's fucking still making up reasons. NXT fans are just stupid and blah, 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 and all this shit. And it's like, no, dude, they did the thing that you've been crying about them doing, and then it's still not good enough for you. You know, that's what people point out, and they feel like you're going to react that way anyways when it comes to Cena shit. But I don't know if Brian crying this hard about Tanahashi losing, because Brian said the same shit to Dave. Oh, if Tanahashi loses, they did the wrong thing. So, and then Tanahashi lost. I don't think I've heard one fucking ounce of crying from Brian. So I don't know. We'll leave it at that. He has some beef with CM Punk, and it is what it is, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was WWE news. Devourer of God became a new member. Thank you. Didn't you become a member already?
Acknowledge me.
Thank you so much for your membership. Enjoy Member Mondays. They're very fun. Appreciate you so much for your support. Thomas Moore 9704 has been a member for 7 months and says he's not crying about Okada beating Tanahashi. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm saying, dude. And I appreciate you for your membership as well for 7 good goddamn months. That's amazing. Shout out to PWT Universe. And yeah, I know. We'll see. Him and Dave are just kind of glazing it. Meanwhile, it was like the exact same thing as Cena, just drawn out more. And Tanahashi didn't even talk. He talked for like 10 seconds and he was crying the whole way through. So I just really don't understand the faux outrage. It is what it is. I don't know. Brian stayed consistent with the Cena thing, sure, but with his NXT takes, we're going to clown it tomorrow. Dave Meltzer, Dumb Moment of the Week, goes live every Thursday. Guys, patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. You can support the show by becoming a member or super chatting in or gifting a membership. I appreciate you guys. Round of applause for everybody here. I appreciate you all for being here. Hit like or retweet or whatever you guys got to do. Thank you. The exact opposite. Uncle Dave declared Tana Okada as one of the greatest matches of all time. Yeah, well, I know. Dave's already embarrassed himself, and so is Tone this year. I was thinking about it today, actually. I was like, holy fuck, man. We have to rank Tone. When did Tone do the Ask Grok thing? Or the Thanks Grok? Was that in 26 or was that still in 25? I can't remember. I feel like it was in 26. And then him blaming the fans and dismissing Cody Rhodes' shit. And then what he has to say about injured wrestlers, or like not even injured wrestlers, but like William Regal's post that we're about to talk about. I totally think Tony's just having already the worst 2026 ever. Could be a cataclysmic one at this rate. And same with Dave. He's just completely humiliated himself already in 26. So it's going to just be an awesome year for that. That was in 26. Yeah, guys. Thank you, chat. This is what I'm saying. Like, I think Tone is about to have him and Dave are just about, and like Alba's fooling around here. Like Alba's just becoming a fucking mainstay fool. Like you got Jim Cornette roasting Alba and shit now. That's how much of a fool this guy's become. And yeah, I just think it's going to be a record bad year. And we got to keep tabs of it all. So someone in Discord or something, start a list of fucking, or I'll put it in a Google Doc and I'll just write down each fuck up from Tone and Dave that have just been, like Tone's had 3 bad ones already. So we'll see. We will see. What else is chat saying? I'll check in with you guys for a minute here. NordVPN.com/ProWrestleTimes as well. 53 likes. Run those likes up, guys. Alvarez would run from the Midnight's cashier that tapped out Moxley. That's because Okada and Meltzer and Brian love Okada. People who can't write, interviewing people who can't talk, for people who can't read. Brian is a grifter. I don't like to throw grifter around at people. Here's the thing too. Grifting is like for petty shit. That's like AIR Gold shit. You know, if you guys know who that guy is on Twitter, right? That's grifting. Dave and Brian are more, they're just like they make too good of a living for it to be a grift. I don't think they're really, but I mean, they're doing fire sales and shit all the time, constantly. They started the year off with one too. So a mid-dying podcast, Wrestling Observer, is we need Jericho running stat. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Some MMA fighters will also sleep, then tap out. Exactly. And some people, here's the other thing, that Brian's just too fucking dumb to even understand. And he does Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He does jiu-jitsu. You think he'd know this shit. Some people like white out. It's like a whiteout where like you're conscious, but like you don't go to sleep. And this is from being choked out or like getting rocked too hard. But I'm talking specifically about being choked out. There's also like a whiteout situation where you will tap, but you're out, man. You didn't even know you tapped. It's just like a muscle reflex. Like I got to fucking tap, my brain's shutting off or whatever. right? And some people have that where it's like, my brain just got hit hard, go to sleep. And that's when people get punchy, like Luke Rockhold or Chuck Liddell, it happened to, unfortunately. It's like he gets banged out so many times, his brain's just like shut off right when you get touched. It happens to guys. And in some instances, you see guys like, they'll fucking tap, but then they're like, well, wait, what happened? Like right after anyways, because they don't realize. You'd think he would know that too. So it's not really like quitting. It's like a guy got you, you know, someone's got you in an arm bar, so you're going to let them snap your arm off, or else you gave up on yourself. That's not what the way they're trying to spin it. It's not the way, that's not what it was. And you would think fucking, did I say Alba? Brian, you would think Brian would understand this. But yeah, I just don't, I don't know, man. Anyways, we can move along. So we're on Tony Khan watch over here. I just have, yeah. Okay. So we have some of his posts here. We'll end on that. I love ending on the Tony Cringe. So we will head over to AEW news here in just a sec. I'm enjoying chopping it up with chat here, though. Let's see. And yeah, let's get this in a bookmark. Sorry, I just want to get things bookmarked because there's stuff happening on the fly tonight, which is pretty awesome. Film marks, bookmarks. I can't believe nobody's made that into a jingle yet. What the fuck are we? What are you doing, PWT Universe? Jesus Christ. Is there any video of Tony at the SI Awards? Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into that. Phil Marks, bookmarks. Brian has said before he doesn't watch sports, so I wouldn't expect. Yeah, but he does jujitsu, dude. And isn't he like a brown belt or some shit? Maybe I'm overhyping him, but it's like, dude, he should know. He should know that for sure, that you don't like. But again, it's pro wrestling, so he's just trying to spin a fucking narrative. Okay. Miklo Piccolo's out here fucking owning Dave some more and shit too. I'm gonna have to check that later. The SI Awards are real? Yeah. Yeah, it's still a thing. It's a thing, bro. And just wait till you hear Tony's fucking quote on it all. Tone, we're about to get into it. What'd you guys think of Benjamin Mox? Benjamin like missed a couple, you know, they had a couple moves there. I don't think it's really on Benjamin, but that dragon whip or whatever missed, and the fucking, I don't know. Mox is out there phoning it in a bit. No. Phoning it in like these SI Awards. So yeah, they had an actual award show, guys. And we're going to get into it here. So patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times for tons of exclusive bonus content, uncensored, unedited shit. But without further ado, it is time for everybody. Ichi Nissan. Because it is time for AEW news.
The best guy is Tony Khan.
So AEW Dynamite tonight, they have 2,462 tickets sold, and the current setup's for 3,000. Again, Dave was like, oh, there's a ticket uptick. I don't know about all that, man, but 2,400, I mean, that's decent for Dynamite now. Pretty fucking bad, though, for what they used to do. But whatever. I guess we'll give them some kudos. In other attendance and ratings news, AEW Dynamite on December 31, we finally got a number. No number for Christmas, which means it was so fucking abysmal that no one has it. Now, I'm sure someone could find it if someone sleuthed it out. But none of these guys want to do it. But the Dynamite, December 31 on TBS, 398,000 fucking viewers, dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. And like, I don't care what people have to say about, oh, well, it was on New Year's Eve. Like, okay, but what about the years before and shit? Like, this is fucking terrible. This is Collision numbers. And it'll bounce back a bit this week for sure, but that is just fucking abysmal, man. So in other ratings and whatnot news, attendance news, Dynamite tonight. Oh, here's an update. So the update as of today, 12 hours ago, is 2,600 tickets. So only a bump of like 200 since like the week prior or whatever. Is what it is. I'm not going to shit on it too hard, but AEW Collision was back to its original time slot on Saturday and tied its lowest rating in show history, guys. And again, I'm not trying to make fun. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and shit on this just to shit on this, but in its OG time slot, it does its worst ratings. It keeps tying its second lowest and lowest ever on its regular night. And it's just been moved around and put on Wednesday and put on Thursday and put on fucking, and I can't wait to see when it goes head to head with TNA what happens. And you know, I would say AEW threw the first blow in the TNA AEW NXT wars here, which we're going to talk about in a minute, breaking tonight on Dynamite, right? But Collision averaged 241K viewers with a 0.03. So Dynamite and Collision are starting to become like 250,000 viewers between themselves or between these shows. You guys know what I'm fucking saying? This is not great, Tone. Like, we're at like 250,000 difference like on the high end watching fucking Dynamite rather than Collision and shit. I just don't know where we go from here. Okay, I don't know how they're going to save it. They haven't changed anything. It's like regressing as a Fed, I feel like. Even though they're talking about it's the rebuilding phase. What's rebuilding about any of this? This is the same fucking match we've seen 100 million fucking times. And it's the same shitty aesthetic that they've had for way too long. That Tony's just fixated on this show being like a shitty older WWE. It just looks like shitty older when they first implemented the LED boards and shit, WWE. But anyways, these numbers don't include the HBO Max simulcast. The 18 to 49 rating tied 4 other episodes for the lowest in show history. It was the 10th week in a row that the show scored under 300K. Oh my God, the 10th week. So this is the trend now. Before we would joke, remember when we joke, oh, what is Collision going to do, 300K? Now it's doing 200 to 100, 250 to 150K viewers now. What happened to Rampage? The same thing to the point it got canceled. Why won't Collision get canceled? And then look at Dynamite. It went from 1 million to fucking 800,000. Every year it's like 100,000. It's like to 800,000. Then we're talking about how it's 700. Then we're talking about how it's 600. Now when they do 600, it's like, oh, a boost, a good rating. What the fuck? That's old Collision numbers. You know, something's got to give. Something's got to give. Or it just TNA'd itself. That's all. It's in competition with TNA. It is what it is. It is the second promotion as far as like people watching it. And we'll see, man. We'll see if TNA doesn't swoop in. So I don't know, man. And people say like, oh, looking at year over year is bullshit. This is what sickos are trying to say now. And it's like, no, it's not, especially when you guys talk about it's a fucking new company and shit. Or like, oh, it's only been around for 6 years. The Fed has a billion-year head start. Yeah, that's why you can't go to like the 80s and compare it to the fucking 2010s and then compare it to the 2020 because they've been around forever. AEW, you guys still like to talk about the head start and it's relatively new. You know, TNA's outlasted fucking everything. So again, that's why people look at those ratings and go, okay, well, they've had ups, they've had downs. With AEW, the only trend we saw was they came out hot. This is the only trend we've calculated for the better part of a decade, is they started hot and they've just slowly declined, slowly decline every year. Not even slowly. It's honestly in big chunks every year. And that's what we can observe. The Observer, Brian. That's all we can observer awards. Okay, guys, is that it's going down and down and down every year after year since its inception. So if the next 6 years they completely turn it around and the ratings skyrocket again back up to even like 1 million, even back up, if it went back up to like 800,000, 900,000 every week, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. But instead, you know, it's just slowly going backwards and it's not good. And hopefully they can fix that. And I think the power company shut the lights out on this TV show. No, Andrade's returned in live AEW news. Or if you're hearing this in clip form, Time Cop. But in live AEW news, Andrade is back in AEW and they're really rolling out the carpet for him. Because Tone, I think in his mind, he thinks this is some sort of like gotcha over WWE in some way. Speaking of a gotcha, I believe AEW has thrown the first strike in the TNA war. Let me explain, chat. Let me explain. So Jake Something is in AEW and took out Jet Speed for Don Callis and Ricochet. Now that is fucking cringe and whack that Callis and Ricochet, like, is Fingershay and them in the fucking Callis family? Again, Tone has the bad habit of taking two heel factions, making them team up, even though there's 100 guys in the Callis family, and then fucking they together hire a hitman to fucking go after Jet Speed. It's the same thing that fucking he did with like the Hardy family and then the Andrade family enterprise, and it's like two factions come together and then become one fucking faction, or like not even, they're just all working together. It's just a clusterfuck and it's stupid. And then you have FTR heels with Stokely eyeing down the fucking these other heels, and it's like, aren't you all heels? Like, what's going on, man? Why doesn't anyone have a story? Why does everyone just get flip-flopped around like the Big Show in this fucking
Sometimes in
company?
life, you got to be a hoe.
Just makes no goddamn sense. But at least Jake Something is in AEW making that money. I guarantee WWE was interested in this guy. I'm pretty sure the dirt sheet said that they signed Jake Something to an extension. TNA did, or they were expecting that Jake Something would be extended or something like that.
Call it. This guy is an
And
animal, and this guy is an animal.
And now Jake Something, just instead of being his own guy, and good on him taking the money and shit, he's just paired up with Mark Davis or whatever in the Callis fucking family. Like, what's
You fucked up! You fucked up!
for all the sickos and wackos and everyone in the TNA holes being like, oh, we really want Jake Something to get a push. Well, it ain't gonna happen here, man. This is fucking terrible. Like, and I'm happy for him, man. I'm a fan of his, but Jesus Christ, the Fed should have offered him fucking more. But that's the beauty of being the Fed, I guess. You don't have to offer people more. You take it or leave it. You guys, like, we're on this trajectory with or without Jake Something. So he's going to take more money and go to AEW. However, TNA, they posted this graphic. Jake Something, TNA Thursday Night Impact on AMC. Maybe AMC dropped this. But this is the first, and I'm going to be honest, this is the first TNA fumble of the new wars, dude. This is the first Carlos Silva fumble of the fucking middle of the week wars, dude. And I think Tony Khan for sure went for Jake something because he's someone that TNA fans really want to see get pushed there and really could have amounted to more there, and they didn't do enough with him, and he was always like mid undercard guy. And even Hammerstone found his way back in MLW after all that controversy with him. And I don't think WWE wanted him because they featured Hammerstone on NXT, but then some of these guys, like, the door opens and then they still want to negotiate a bit. And I'm not saying Hammerstone did that, but he may or may not have done that allegedly. And then mixed with, he botched on a show with Karrion Kross where he went to hit his finish and he like
allegedly.
And this isn't alleged. Like Hammerstone actually like fucking dropped Kross like on his ankles or whatever. You guys saw it. We played it on the show. And I think that could have had something to do with it too. But he's like back in MLW, and then Jake something goes to AEW. You can't tell me that NXT or WWE wasn't interested in him. But this is definitely shocking, and the first jab from Tony Khan taken towards TNA, I think, by sniping one of their main dudes. And again, he's just buried in a meaningless faction. Same with Ace Austin. And so what Tone's going to do, remember when he came in the game and he was just signing a bunch of people for shitloads of money, which he's still doing, but from WWE, and it made WWE have to up their prices.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
Tone's going to try and take all the hype, all the guys with hype for TNA. So with WWE, Tone was taking some of the top guys, right, for a bunch of money, and they were letting their contracts come up because then they could negotiate better, and WWE had to shill out the money. And then it became sort of like an NXT versus AEW type thing, and now it's going to be AEW trying to snipe and they, with Austin Aries, they scooped him up, and he's just in Ring of Honor, I think, as well. They don't really have anything for him. They just gave him one big match where he did a bunch of crazy shit and lost, and then he's in Ring of Honor. And then now they have Jake something, who's just another big body in the Callis family.
My misery.
I just don't think career long-term like Jake would have been a big fucking deal in WWE, I think, long term, because the way they'd book this guy. But maybe they weren't even looking at him the way I'm fantasy mark booking that they are. Maybe they were like, nah, dude, you can be in NXT for a bit, the way Joe Hendry was. How old is Jake something? Let's look up his age. Jake something age. He is 36, man. So yeah, maybe that he's just like, fuck it, I've been doing this a long time and I'll go to AEW and hedge my bets there. Hopefully someone's in his corner and they understand, but he won't be. Look at Hobbs. Like the world heavyweight title picture right now should be Wardlow, Hobbs, MJF. Even he doesn't really, some people would argue he doesn't fit in there fully with his size, but it should be like them, Omega, like they had, Hangman and Swerve is cool, whatever, Hangman, Moxley, whatever. But like some of these guys should be ready for it. Hobbs, and then Joe, obviously. Hobbs, Wardlow, Jake something. That should be your world. Think about the fucking Land of the Giants. Tony could promote that. Like, holy fuck, dude. That's a heavyweight division right there. And nah, man, you got Bobby Lashley versus Jake something. Like, this shit would put butts in seats, man. And instead, he's just, again, relying on fucking what he's been doing this whole time. So it ain't ever going to change. So, yeah, Jake something, man. The first shot taken in the middle of the week. Wars point Tony Khan. A fumble. And you heard it here first, folks. An official fumble for TNA. Here, let me check in with chat, man. There's like 230 some people watching across X and YouTube. Thank you guys for always tuning in. I love the support. You guys are fucking goated. People watching the clips. I'm working on like a little mini doc for you guys. So yeah, I appreciate it. Patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times. And thanks for the super chats and the membership, guys. You guys fucking rule. And if, yeah, I just appreciate it. Chris Walski for 2 says APAC ESPN is not showing Dynamite live anymore. Why? Pourquoi? Porque? Can somebody tell me? And thank you for that info, Chris Walski. I know, it's Chris Walski. Kowalski? Killer Kowalski or what? Kevin Pierpont for 2 says AEW's decline began when Punk was fired. Bro, it began. So, Kevin, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Listen, dude, it began when Rhodes left. It started a bit before that, too, you could argue. And they were cheering it on because they were like rejecting Rhodes, even though he was trying so hard to sports entertainment up AEW. Like, he really seemed like the only guy who was trying to like do story shit with Brody Lee and do spooky shit with Aleister Black and shockingly lose a title and book himself in a story where he couldn't win the title and get guys like a Go-Go over and push them. Even though, yeah, was that a miss? Sure, not everything. You don't bat 1,000, but it's like he was trying to be like, this guy's legit and could be the future of our company and shit. You know, like he was trying his ass off. The shit he was doing with Andrade, he was trying to sports entertainment it up and they just rejected it. And then he dipped out and then Punk came back and like saved them. That was like a miracle. And then Punk got fired and then it just completely, it's cooked. And even the first time when the Brawl In happened and Punk had to go away, it was Brawl Out or Brawl In. I forget which one. And then Punk had to go away. That was the second fall off, and then Punk's third, like when he actually left, that was the other fall off right there. So thank you for that. But yeah, I think the final though, people, you know, what was the last goal of the game type thing, the game winning goal as they call it in hockey, it was Punk leaving or being fired. That was the game winning goal as far as like you guys are cooked. Steve Sanchez has been a member for 10 fucking months. Let's go 10 months. Thank you so much. I acknowledge you. Where's my acknowledge me? Creighton Rabs has been a member for 13 goddamn months. Let's acknowledge me. Guys, I do member shows every Monday that I hope you all enjoy. So we have Mercedes. Yeah, so we're kind of watching this terrible segment. She's like crying. Let's listen to what Mercedes is saying here or doing. She's trashing this table, flipping the table, mad at Willow. And we're just watch. Oh. And then she gets thrown into a cake again. How many times is Monet going to do the same fucking thing? It's a time loop in AEW, I'm telling you. Nothing ever changes. I have to tweet about this. So why do they keep going back to this when it's never worked? Monet's done this like 7 times now. It's never worked. The food in the face, the cake in the face, her eating a pork chop. It fucking doesn't work. Why do they keep going back to it? It's just the worst bottom of the barrel, fucking scraping the bottom of the barrel ideas of wrestling. So in AEW news, we have some contract news. Maybe I should have put this. I don't know if I titled this live stream correctly right? Because there was a few I wanted to put in there, but there are people leaving AEW, a handful of folks leaving who have left AEW, ladies and germs. And the first one, Mercedes Martinez, who recently was like, I'm retiring this year. And we covered it on the show. And I was like, she's still with AEW? And everyone's like, yeah, Phil, she's still with AEW. Holy shit, she is. But no, she's not. Like a day later, Mercedes Martinez is no longer with AEW after her contract has expired. So there you go. She is no longer, her contract expired. They did not renew her. And she was like touted as this big fucking deal. And then they didn't do shit with her. Matt Taven is no longer with AEW after his contract expired. Again, they just buried him in ROH and nothing came of it. Matt Taven needs to change his look, and he could be a good wrestler in WWE. I mean, he's not out there doing like dumb shit all the time. Matt Taven, age, I just think he's a little old. He's 40 now. Yeah, dude. So again, where are the sickos? Like if this was 2 years ago, it would be the argument. It would be like wackos saying, where's the sickos pointing out that, oh, they're just releasing older talent, but they can still go. But because that shit's been debunked a billion times, the sickos have moved on. None of them care about fucking Matt Taven and shit being released because they don't really care about any of the wrestlers, and Tony doesn't. So why should the sickos? And we're going to get into that in a little bit here. But yeah, Matt Taven, he could be a good hand anywhere. Maybe he should go to TNA. I don't fucking know. Maybe him and Bennett will align again and go do their thing. The Undisputed Kingdom. Do you guys remember that? The Undisputed Kingdom. They just hijacked the Kingdom's name and all this shit, turned it into the Undisputed Kingdom, dropped them, and then just turned it into Paragon. And now Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole may never fucking wrestle again. And then Bennett and Taven just fucking released. You guys know what
guys, Tony Khan.
You know, so Matt Taven, again, a good hand. I just think he's just like Kenny Omega Jr. If he just switches his look up, gets a whole new gimmick, maybe he could become a coach or like a producer somewhere. That would be awesome. But if he wants to keep wrestling, like if I was him, I would just go try and get in WWE. Like you're 40, you either take Tone's money. When you're that age, you either take Tone's money or you just try and get a settled down job in WWE or even AEW. He could be good backstage there and whatnot, but I just hope he gets a job somewhere because he's a guy where him and Bennett could have, and with Canella as well as part of their act, could have been more, I think, in pro wrestling as far as they've had great careers, Ring of Honor, I think TNA, and I think they've been all over the place, right? But I just feel like even in remember when they signed Taven and Bennett and shit? It was like a big deal. And it was like, oh, they're going to breathe new life into ROH, or at least people tried to spin it that way. It was still at a time when people were like, oh, fuck. And then they got involved in the MJF Devil thing. Like, think about this, man. This is the payoff to the MJF Devil thing, was the Undisputed Kingdom. That was the fucking payoff, guys. Matt Taven. And Tekla's got the sauce, boys and girls. But Taven and Bennett were a part of that. Like they were a part of the devil thing when it was all said and done. Because when Cole like put together the faction or whatever the fuck, they were in it, and like they're all just released or injured forever. And MJF just has the triple B again. Just nothing came of it. There was no real, people want to talk about payoff. Where was the payoff for that? You know, the payoff isn't, oh, the crowd cheered at the end of the night. Maybe it is in some aspects, but not every fucking, like, what's the payoff to Cena losing to Gunther? It wasn't the fans booing that night. The payoff is Gunther becomes fucking Darth Sidious, you know? He becomes the Darth Maul of maybe not Darth Maul. He got jobbed out pretty quick, but unless you watch Clone Wars, then he fucking ruled. But anyways, yeah, Matt Taven, shout out Matt Taven. That's all I can say. Alex Abrahantes is no longer with AEW after his contract expired. He was awesome. Him along with Jose, the assistant, who was awesome too. They both just sort of disappeared. You know, Tone doesn't really know what to do with fucking luchadors. A little X-Files, like, you know, I've seen people call out Alex Abrahantes and shit. You know what I mean? If you guys sleuth it out online, you'll see, I'm sure you'll come across something, but just that, I guess he's like a bit of an ass kiss for Tone and all that. And some people were kind of like, yo, fuck this guy. But, and I'm not trying to like bury him or anything. I always enjoyed him. Like, I can just tell you what is on screen as a fan. I always enjoyed him with the luchas, except for when they had him like walking down to the ring with someone and then running back and then coming down the ramp. So I don't know. He got released. I think everyone thought he was like a for lifer there, but nah, even they let his shit go because that's what happens, man. So speaking of, is there any more releases and whatnot? No, there is not. But speaking of luchadors and other this and that's AEW news, Bandito last night set up a ring and did a free neighborhood wrestling show in his hometown of Torreon. That sounds like a Pokemon. Torreon, I choose you. Vaporeon, go. And it was so cool. People in the area seem to absolutely love it. Well, of course they do. They're going crazy. And this is awesome he's doing this, but the fact that MJF comes back, wins AEW's world title, and then one of the first things they announce, he's going to wrestle and defend the AEW world title on an indie show. And then like Bandito goes and does shit like this. And like, I'm not hating on this. Like, you know, it's good for his community and everything. Once in a while, a move like this is cool, but it's just the fact that all these wrestlers do this shit. Like Moxley just goes and wrestles for whatever fucking show. And it makes AEW not feel special. Like you can go to other places and see their fucking wrestlers wrestle and shit. And with WWE, it's like, okay, the Lakers are coming to town, you know? Or maybe like the Harlem Globetrotters is the way to put it. But, or it's like, you know, LeBron's coming to town. Like the Yankees are coming to town, you know? They come to you instead of you going to them. So that's what makes WWE feel special right now and why they're selling so much. And you can't accomplish that by just letting everyone do everything they fucking want and do whatever willy-nilly show and have Ospreay just be like, I'm gonna be a Nuge, bruv, and me wife and Monet are back in Rev Pro, bruv. You know, it just doesn't help you. But at the same time, I'm not hating on this. Like, this is a cool one, you know? Vince and Cena did like a charity show or whatever for Cena's fucking Dad's Fed or whatever the fuck it was. I'm not hating on it when you do it once in a while. This is an instance. I'm like, this is cool. He did like a free thing for his community and shit. You know? But I'm just saying, when MJF is also doing an indie and blah, 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 it's just like... So Bandito snapping there. That's awesome. Crowd's going crazy. That's a fun time. Good for him. I like Bandito. Speaking of wrestlers doing shit in AEW, doing what they want, your boy Edge, Adam Copeland, is working on a new memoir. The plan is for the book to be released on October 26th by HarperCollins. And I put out a tweet just saying, man, this guy's fleeced Edge. Or I mean, Edge has fleeced Tony Khan like more than he's one of the top
guys. Tony Khan,
and all the power to him. But he comes in, he's like, "Oh, I'm on a multi-year deal. I'm here for a multi-year deal," And then he go like half the time he's filming Disney shit. He just comes and goes as he pleases. They pile drive his wife, pause, and then he fucking just dips out right after. Like they finally got he teams up with Christian again, gets his wife pile driven, and then fucking just dips out to go film shit and write a memoir, you know? It's just crazy, man. And I don't know if his deal goes past 26. Now, if he's frozen, when did Edge sign? 23? What date did Edge sign his AEW contract? 23 in October, yeah. So I don't think his deal will go past 26, but he might be frozen for that leg injury, right? So if that happens, then he'll be around for a little while longer. But in 27 and shit, expect Edge to be in WWE, if I had to guess. Is Edge a WWE Hall of Famer? I've asked you guys this before. Yes, he is a Hall of Famer. Okay, so he can just do whatever he wants. But yeah, he's just off writing books and doing Disney shows and taking Tone's money while they're off doing other shit. Right? Which, if he's cool with it, that's fine. But it's not conducive for a television program. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they just get Tony's bank and then they just go and chill and fucking take their injury time and do all this shit, get all these surgeries they needed. And like all these wrestlers, man. And then they go do their TV shows and blah, 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 work whatever indies they want and shit. And yeah, I just don't think that it's conducive to make this the best wrestling program week in and week out. So in other little newses for AEW, they have filed to trademark the C2 and the Continental Classic. So it's probably just renewing it, but we are on, the trademark watch when it comes to AEW. Unlike other AEW departures, there was no internal memo today indicating Chris Jericho had left the company yet. So he has not left the company yet, according to everybody there. I don't know if he makes it in time for the Rumble. I got to be honest. AEW and White Castle luchador masks. So would you guys cop these again? They just look shitty and cheap, but they are like White Castle hamburger joint fast food masks. So it works, right? Like Burger King used to give out those fucking paper crowns. They might even still do it, and it works. But I put out a tweet saying over under on months until Tony Khan makes this an actual fucking gimmick on TV and we get this guy fighting El Clone or Hologram. And, they do like a KFC commercial, like the way Miz and Dolph Ziggler and those guys did. A fucking Colonel Sanders commercial. I could totally see that happening. And here is RJ City. Before we get into the best guy, here's RJ City being a complete and utter dumbass. I don't know. I like this guy. So many people are like, he's cringe. He's cringe. Someone DM me like a screen grab of his Wikipedia. And they were like, his whole fucking, it's like 2 paragraphs. And they're like, his whole wrestling career is summed up in this. And he just seems bitter towards WWE. Like, I just think he's bitter towards them for some reason. Now, people said that he had a tryout and he didn't make it. And he was David Arquette's first match, I think. And, RJ City, I've always liked him. I always thought his AEW was funny, although, I didn't watch every one of them. I got to be honest. Some people think he's hacky and cringe. I think the making fun of Triple H shit is hacky. And then here's him talking about women's wrestling. And I quote tweeted this and destroyed him as well. But here's him just sort of coping over women's wrestling in AEW.
I also feel like...
Or just in general, in WWE, actually, which is ridiculous. Hey, sickos, fucking redacted wrestlers, everyone, critics, fans, you cannot criticize WWE for women's wrestling, period. They are the cream of the crop, the tippy top. They've developed the most that became stars. Can't tell me Bianca Belair and all these women who've come from NXT. Name one star from NXT. That's what Redacts literally say. You know, Belair, all these women that have come from NXT and just WWE in general that are big fucking megastars, the way they treated and hyped up Monet. Well, why is that a thing? It's not because she became Monet and hit the indies in Japan. She's that famous because of Sasha Banks. So they are the cream of the crop. You turn on Raw and every match is a girl match. We just saw that this last Raw. Every match was a girl match other than the main event, I think. Maybe there was one other dude's match there. I can't even remember. But it's a women's dominated show, and people want to cope like, oh, they're not doing enough with women, or they're not innovating with women. They're just giving old shit that the men. Yeah, because it's fucking you. So here's the thing. Ask any women's wrestler, do they want to be in the Royal Rumble? Would they want to be in WrestleMania? Yeah, it's the same as the men, RJ. That's the thing. The women want to be treated the same as the fucking men. So they want a Royal Rumble. They want WrestleMania. They want their own money in the bank. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean you can't do unique shit with them. But is Tone doing that? What the fuck you talking about? Tone is tone deaf when it comes to booking women. And luchas. I pointed that shit out before anybody.
Are so strong this year that the answer is to not just give them their own version of the same shit the men already have. Because, like, then now there's a show with 2 fucking Royal Rumbles, and it's, like, exhausting.
It's not that exhausting, RJ, and I know you work for AEW, but it's way more exhausting watching 14 fucking matches no one cares about that all go 20 fucking minutes long. That's way more exhausting, bro, than 2 Rumbles. 2 Rumbles is not exhausting. I fucking love 2 Rumbles.
It's important to push them in territories that the men aren't in and give them their own
And
stuff.
I'm sure they want that, dude, but here's the thing. And this Danny girl, shout her out, right? I think this is called the Black Girls Wrestling Pod or something. Shout them out. And I'm not hating on her, but like she's sitting there nodding along, but it's like, no. Ask Danny right now, does she want women to have their own Royal Rumble? They wanted to be treated like the men. They want to make history like the men. The Royal Rumble is the top shit. This isn't, you're not some innovative, they should have something else. What? Well, like a battle royal where like they get thrown over the top rope. So Tone just did a women's casino gauntlet and the first ever women's blood and guts. What are they innovating over there? And maybe this is just he would critique AEW the same way, but he's singling out the Rumble as if we got 2 blood and guts on one show, buddy. Tell this to your fucking boss, bud. Tell this to your boss, or I'll shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, this is just a dumb thing to say. Bitch. Go ask the women's wrestlers if they don't want their own Rumble and Chamber and shit like that, like the men, and to prove they can do it bigger and better than the men, which they've done. We compare them. WWE fans, we compare. And I'm an AEW fan, and I say we for them too, fucking sickos. But as fans, we compare the men's and women's. We say it I like the women's Rumble every year. I like the women's Rumble more. I like the men's Elimination Chamber more. I like the men's War Game better. We fucking compare them every year. So RJ's just talking baloney right here. And fucking, it's like, tell this to Kenny Omega, who's allegedly booking the women, and Tony Khan. I guess Kenny's not doing that anymore, but.
And I think about Willow, and I think about Tony Storm, and I'm going, gee, they do shit that the men just can't.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so let them upstage the men in the match.
So I feel like that's more important. It's more important to head in that direction.
Okay, but what is heading in? This is what I mean. Explain it. So don't give them a Rumble, but like make them have a fatal 4-way because they can do stuff. Oh, I know. Have them make out and then throw Mercedes Moné in a cake and then spank Mina Shirakawa's ass with a pork chop. What the fuck are you talking about? Explain it, bro. Maybe he goes on to explain it, but this is just like, what? This is dopey dumb talk right here. And I'm sorry I'm going so hard on it, but it's just like, what the fuck are you babbling about? Okay, so we're going to get into the best guys Tony Khan first here, though. I see I got a super chat. Thank you so much, Honor Sharp. Oh, Christ, Regina. Oh, Christ. I just answered something in the chat and had a horrid realization. The WNBA draws better than AEW. Oh,
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
this is what I'm. The WNBA. Oh, my God. Yeah, and they get paid. They're subsidized by the NBA and shit, too. That's the thing. So, again, people clown the WNBA. It's fair game. You can't clown AEW, though. Thank you so much for the goddamn super chat. I appreciate that.
Acknowledge me.
The fucking WNBA. And then MJF is going at Bandito here. So Tone really wants to push Bandito, and he's their ROH world champ, but like, bro. And who the fuck is this? Stevie Richards got a job or what? I didn't know he could speak Spanish. So MJF is going to do the I'm ignorant towards Latino people and culture shit shtick again. We just had this. This just happened. Everyone's stuck in a fucking time loop in this company, man. Ugh. Okay, guys, let's get into some cringe Tony Khan. Everybody all together in chat at the same time. You all know how it goes.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
This is great.
So Alfred Konowa at This Is Nasty, Pro Wrestling Bits on YouTube, friend of the show. I'm going to get him, I'm going to bring him on PWT Pod here right away. We were just DMing. And this is what he had to say about Tony Khan and his terrible booking in 2025.
Meet the worst booker of 2025. His territory was once the hottest in the business, but a series of booking errors compromised the product and led to a downturn in creativity, viewership, and attendance. Because the worst booker in 2025 was easily Tony Khan, and it's not even close. Nobody really watches AEW the way they once did. AEW is like...
Someone took the sign away in the front row that said MJF blows goats. He doesn't blow me, George. What are you talking about?
Pro Wrestling's version of Sports Illustrated. It's why they got the benefit of the doubt over WWE, where every creative decision was scrutinized at a mainstream level, while AEW got away with a lot of fumbles and fuckery in silence. Because if the snowman melts down in a forest and nobody watched on TBS, did that snowman really melt?
No, but it comes back as Jack Frost.
Yes, it did. I promise you it did. Even if I'm the only one who watched. Tony Khan was the worst booker of the year once again for reasons you totally forgot. Subscribe in Swahili.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So, just a little precursor to what we're going to get into here. So, Tony Khan, he's fumbled shit up a bunch, and Dave was sweeping. He's the booker of the year, but CMLL was the best promotion and had more sellouts than WWE, but Tone was the booker of the year. That's what Dave wants to fucking have everybody believe, and he wants to tell everybody.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
But Tony Khan believes AEW wrestlers will be a part of the G1 Climax 36. No, Tanahashi-san. No, Tanahashi-san. No, Tanahashi-san.
Land of misery.
No. I think there could potentially be involvement from AEW wrestlers. I believe there will be, based on our early talks. I'm excited about the G1 coming this summer to America. It'll be great. So the G1's coming to America, and fucking Tone is going to invade it and ruin it, man, for Nuge fans. The Nuge gatekeeping, dude, got so bad around Wrestle Kingdom. It's like, for fuck's sakes, guys, shut up. be happy that more casual people are interested in New Japan. It was trending way more. They had way more views. They did a great fucking attendance. Be happy for that. You know, like, don't be fucking mad at that. That's what the sickos did, and look what happened. Look what happened, AEW. You know, people got to fucking chill. But anyways, speaking of chilling, people are saying Jericho's chilling, and he's not going to WWE. He's actually on the active roster. But this is what Tony McCann had to say. And Tony was asked about the current status of Chris Jericho in AEW, and he says, I'm really grateful when I talk about people that have been here from the beginning and talk about that first show in Las Vegas. None of it would be possible without Chris Jericho, who's been instrumental in AEW from the very beginning. I love Chris very much, and I would say that Chris is always a big part of the AEW. Is always a big part of the AEW. The AEW. You know what I'm saying? And I think this promotion is here to stay. Chris Jericho is a huge part of our history. Wait, what is he saying? Yeah, the AEW. That's so funny. And I think the promotion is here to stay. Chris Jericho is a huge part of our history, and we're really proud of what we've been able to accomplish. And Chris is an instrumental part of it. So that to me reads like he is gone. He's not off the roster page. Jericho, and I've told people this, Jericho can work Tone into keeping him on the roster page until the day that he goes to WWE. That is, to me, obvious. The way Jericho, again, we're talking about Tone being fleeced, people he loves. He loves Jericho. If you can, Jericho's the master of making Tone think this shit is his idea. And also, he looks at Jericho in the way Meltzer does, where Meltzer says shit like, Jericho can do anything and get anything over. And so Tony listens to Dave say that, so he believes that. So Jericho, you do whatever you want. That's how the Jericho vortex becomes a thing. The Moxley vortex. Shane McMahon vortex. It's just when you give people free reign, that's what happens. So Jericho, he had a vortex because it was free reign for him. And so I guarantee you, if Jericho was like, Tony, leave me on the roster, I'll come back in 2 years, and then it'll be like a huge moment, Tony. As long as Tony Khan's alive, he'll willingly, whether there's a wrestling company or not, he'll just hire Jericho and give him money. You know what I'm saying? So this is someone saying JD said exactly that yesterday. If it's this rant, well, I said it way longer ago. Chat can confirm. I've been saying this same shit. I repeat myself so much, it makes me fucking sick over here. Ask him if he was listening to PWT. Just ask him. Okay?
Sure thing, bro. Sure thing.
But yeah, as long as Jericho and people I've been saying this forever, okay? I don't give a fuck what JD was saying. I've been saying this. Your boy Phil Marks has been saying this shit forever. That as long as you make Tone think things are his idea, he's cool with it. That's why Jericho rubs him the wrong way. People who know how to work Tone, they know how to fucking work him, and that's how you work him. And that's why everyone's like, well, Tone's booking everything now. Because they figured out the cheat code. They're listening to PWT. They're listening to JD. I'm not hating on JD. I'm just joking around, guys. And they realize that's how you work Tone. You just make him think it's his idea. So Jericho can go for 2 years and then come back. And I've been saying this forever too. I've been on Jericho Wowza longer than anyone. I fucking willed him back into WWE. Thank me. All right? Chat, thank me now. No, I willed him back single-handedly into fucking back into the Fed, okay?
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let me get wild! Yay!
Hit the like button. Phil, you should get JD on here. Yeah, tell him come on. You guys tell him. Okay. No, so yeah, Jericho, I think he'll just go because he'll go back to AEW, and then him and Sting will be a part of AEW's first Hall of Fame class after 10 years of AEW. That's my prediction. So moving along here, Tone. You know, he talked about these awards. Or first he answered William Regal's tweet. Okay. He responds to William Regal, actually. And someone brought this up. The Mark Hoke Show. Shout them out. So Tony Khan responds to William Regal's warning tweet. And here's what he had to say. And I told you guys, again, Phil, don't fucking miss. I told you guys, it's going to get to a point. This thing could shrink down low enough. Or why doesn't Tone just hold wrestling matches in his backyard and invite certain people and just have them fight to the death? A match where two guys just fight until one dies of exhaustion. Like, why not? When is it going to come to that? Here's his response to William Regal's tweet. Not like, yeah, dude, that's why I talked to Nowitzki and blah, blah, blah. This is his response.
I don't know if you saw everything that William Regal had said about a week ago about guys maybe doing some things in the ring that they don't need to do and thinking more along the lines of taking care of themselves long term. Not sure if it was 100% spurred on by what that spot with Fletcher, but
I promise you guys with Regal, it is fucking the fact that Stokely landed on his head, Cash landed on his head and his neck and was he in a sling or did I missee? Was he just holding his title up or whatever? And then the fact that Fletcher landed right on his head.
What do you guys do to try to make sure that everybody's performing safely in the ring?
Absolutely nothing. There's nowhere to train. They closed down the training facility. The ring's open an hour before the show. No one goes. No one listens to veterans. And Tony does absolutely nothing. This is what we want to see out of you guys. This is the type of match we want to see you guys have. And there's none of that shit. And if there is that shit, it's just Tony Khan being like, just misunderstanding what it is he's even talking about. I swear to God. It's just the same four things over and over in his mind.
And maybe if someone comes up with an idea that might be a little too far to kind of pull it back.
Well, I think that's a great question. The pro wrestlers are always taking.
So the pro wrestlers take safety precautions. You know, we train our wrestlers correctly. Whatever the fuck. Nope, none of that. What's Tone saying? Oh, they're always taking hard-hitting risks.
The pro wrestlers are always taking hard-hitting, high-risk chances. And that's one of the things that makes pro wrestling so exciting. But in AEW, we've been able to...
And here, I'll give credit to JD because he put out a fucking tweet. I won't take credit for his shit. I'm over here now. No, I'm just joking. But JD did put out a tweet that I liked as well, where he was like, Tone doesn't, well, he didn't say Tone. He was like, Tony doesn't understand that the stories and the stakes are what make the moves feel even more impactful. It's what makes those, when you don't do dumb shit like that all the time and then you do it once in a while, it makes it, that's essentially what JD was saying. And we all understand that, of course.
We've been able to have all these great events, and we have never had a career-ending injury like that from our wrestling. And I don't think that AEW is any different than any other wrestling promotion in the world, where the wrestlers want to do their very best. And sometimes the promotion will step in, and AEW and I have in time stepped in and said, I can't.
Yeah, honestly, in that situation, though, I put more of that on Mox. Like, Mox should know better, and Fletcher should say no to Mox. Stand your fucking ground, okay? Dude's just being a mark for himself all the time. Just tell him no, okay? And again, man, Tony just doesn't give a fuck if these wrestlers get hurt. He really doesn't. So when he doesn't care, why would the fucking sickos care? Why would they give a shit about what happens to the wrestlers? They don't. So, before we get into the main tone shit here. Okay, yeah. So, here, I have a super chat here. JWT for 2 says, what's the opposite of thank you? Fuck you.
Thank you, fuck you, bye. Boom.
Oh man, thank you for the super chat. So, yeah, and Tony Khan, he just completely forgot about Ospreay. He completely forgot about Adam Cole. He completely forgot about Matt Hardy, who gets made fun of for having CTE and shit, and people don't ever talk about why. Right? What about Edge breaking his leg? Like, all this shit, man. It's just completely him coping and just giving a non-answer to something serious that he claims he cares a bunch about, but he doesn't. Speaking of Tone claiming he cares a bunch about shit, or speaking of Tony Khan caring a bunch about shit, Tony cared about those SI awards to the point even Dave Meltzer was like, do they care about those awards, Brian?
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Those SI awards, Brian. And Sports Illustrated could not be more of a fucking joke, right? And Tony Khan, and this is a headline that the Observer runs with here. Tony Khan says promoting AEW awards success is a balance of promotion and humility. Humility, bro. What's the definition? Let's just get it 100% accurate so that nobody can fucking... The quality of having a modest view of one's value or importance. So you took time out of your fucking TV show instead of telling some stories to fucking pump up the fact that you won Sports Illustrated awards, dude. What are you talking about?
You fucking mark!
WWE does it. Here's the difference. Again, WWE, if it was SI, that would be a little graphic that appears on the bottom of the fucking screen, and then ESPN would pop up, and then fucking Fox would pop up, and then USA would pop. You know, it would be like a quick flash. Sports Illustrated said whatever. It would be like one little cliff note. You know what I mean? Tony was like, oh, Sports Illustrated. And he's at these award shows because SI is trying to be taken seriously again. And ESPN does the fucking, as Marina Shafir botches that stupid ass move. And because ESPN does like the WWE ESPY or whatever the fuck. And so Sports Illustrated will give out the AEW award for pro wrestling and then they had them sweep the awards so that they could give Tony an award at there and get some of the AEW guys to show up because fucking WWE guys won't go to these Sports Illustrated fucking awards. It's so cringe. It's so goddamn cringe. And it's not humility to fucking tout these, having perspective on one's situation. Bro, Sports Illustrated kayfabe Mark-ass John Alba awards, dude. SAI, as people call them. Because they were caught using AI and their credibility's gone down the toilet, and John Alba decided to start 2026 by fucking Meltzering himself, dude. A balance of promotion and humility. Maybe it's promotion, but they cut like a whole fucking 2-minute vignette package. And they could have spent that time like telling stories and shit, man. And I just think that it's uber mark shit. And speaking of the SI awards, we head over here to Tone's timeline. Tone's timeline. And here's Tony Khan illegally streaming. Uh-oh, Tone. What the fuck are you doing, buddy? This is illegally streaming. You couldn't do this at a UFC. You couldn't do this at an AEW. No, they don't care if you videotape there. But, dude, all I'm saying, man, illegally streaming the award shows to the net, man. So here's Tone streaming the awards, and this is how unserious these SI awards are. Michael Phelps went from getting his medals taken away for ripping a bong, right? Dude was taking bong tokes, and he got his fucking records and medals taken away. And then now he's winning a Sports Illustrated award for mental health and awareness for blazing and advocating weed and CBD and all that shit. This is how fucking unserious these awards are. And Tone just loved him. He was invited. He was there with Michael Phelps and everything. And so he's out here tweeting, "Justified, this is awesome chance for Bandito," etc. And we have Tony Khan, some Tony Khan Cringe right here. He went live the other day from Vegas at the award show. And you guys strap in. This is the best guys, Tony Khan. We're going to EFAP this video.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
And here we go.
Good evening. It's great to see you all. It's great to be with you all. I'm here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're just hours away from the first Wednesday Night Dynamite of 2026. We've had such a great 2025. So I'm here tonight in Las Vegas to attend the Sports Illustrated Awards. AEW.
You look so tired, Tone. Just go to sleep, buddy. Go to bed.
We're the recipients of 10 awards, including the best wrestling promotion in the world.
So this is why they did it, right? Because so I'll just piece this together. I'm sure other people are able to do it, but again, let me cook here. So they gave him all of these fucking awards, and I just said it before, but let me reiterate. They gave them 10 awards so that him and possibly some of his wrestlers, hopefully, which I don't think any of them did, would show up at these SI awards to try and do the ESPN, because WWE's got ESPN shit. And they do the WWE moment, not all the pro wrestlers moment in pro wrestling or whatever. And so Tony is now, I don't want to use the word co-opted. He's co-opted the dirt sheets. You know, they've been infiltrated. But pretty much they're just teaming up to like do that sort of ESPYs thing with these SI awards to try and get eyeballs on them and get people talking about them, because no one gives a fuck otherwise. And pro wrestling is like the in thing, as I again point out all the fucking time. People try to diminish it, but it is so fucking popular. So here we go, continuing along.
All Elite Wrestling, AEW in 2025. And we're going to make sure we have a great 2026 too. It's going to be a fantastic Wednesday Night Dynamite tomorrow. We've talked a lot in the past week about it. Of course, there's going to be
exactly like Alfred. That's why I precursored this with all of that. It's just a marketing ploy. And it's just when Tone starts talking about humility and like being humble or whatever he's trying to get at. Does he mean he's being humble? He's showing humility while parading these awards and fucking acting like they mean anything. I don't know. It's not really showing humility when it comes. It's just a marketing ploy. Exactly.
Massive
for both of them. It is mutually beneficial for both of them, because then now the sickos are going to go, oh, SI. It's like the new Observer thing. And then people like me are going to talk about this shit, and we're talking about SI. And so they consider that a W.
Lights out match. Hangman Page.
Oh my God. So he's like, I'm in Vegas for the SI awards. Now he's going to start plugging. There's a lights out match in a few days.
Tomorrow,
I mean, sorry.
We've talked.
Time Cop, maybe a few days. It could be a few days. Time Cop.
A lot in the past week about it. Of course, there's going to be a massive lights out match. Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland taking on the Ops, Hook and Powerhouse Hobbs.
That is going to be the epitome of a hard-hitting fight. Anytime there's a lights-out match in AEW, you never want to miss it. You always want to see those lights-out matches in AEW. Anytime Hangman or Swerve is involved in a lights-out match, you know it's going to be extra crazy. And they're both in this one.
Yeah, that's how you guys should start the year. Just randomly a lights. I mean, I guess they're feuding the ops, but it's just like, oh, you know, these guys do crazy shit. Yeah, that's the fucking problem, bud.
And it's the first time we've seen Hangman and Swerve working together in a lights out match. So I'm really excited about this. And
he's excited to see them fucking stick needles in their asses and fucking a double chain hanging. Is that what we're going to get in Minecraft?
That is one of the many things to look forward to tomorrow on Wednesday Night Dynamite. Again, kicking off the year, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on TBS and on HBO Max. And after a great 2025, I can't wait for the first Dynamite of the year tomorrow. We crowned a new TBS champion last Wednesday on the final Dynamite of 2025. It was a great moment to end the year. And we're going to have a celebration tomorrow on Wednesday Night Dynamite of the new TBS champion, Willow Nightingale.
And then we saw how that fucking played out. Monet just got a cake in the face.
She started the celebration on New Year's Eve in the ring with her friends. Friends from the conglomeration, her tag team partner in the Babes of Wrath, the Women's World Tag Team Champions, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, who's now a double champion. We had the conglomerate.
Garbage. Another double champion?
Jet Speed, all these great friends of Willow out there, and we saw somebody reunite with Willow.
What the fuck is he talking about? We saw all these great friends.
Oh, and that's the Women's World Champion, Chris Statlander. And I thought that was a fantastic moment to end the year with them reuniting and Willow winning the championship. And we're going to have a celebration for...
We saw Willow out there with all of these great friends that she has. Tone, say that you, as the owner, you were elated to see the roster come out and show their support for Willow, is what you're trying to say. Well, you know, she has all these great friends, and yeah, there'll be a cake tomorrow, guys. Tune in.
Willow tomorrow. I'm also really excited about the return of Jim Ross to do some commentary on AEW. It's going to be fantastic to have.
Jim Ross sounded run down. He needs to just go back to WWE, call one final Mania, and then with Jerry the King Lawler, or like a match or one more main event, and then just pack it in.
Have JR back, and I know he's excited about being.
Because I love JR. That's why I say that.
Being in Tulsa. And with Wednesday Night Dynamite kicking off 2026, I think the return of JR, that's going to be another excellent thing to look forward to. And I know JR is looking forward to the Continental Championship Eliminator fight with the champion, Jon Moxley, taking on Shelton Benjamin.
And do you guys notice that he always calls Moxley's matches? He does call matches fights in general. Like, well, I wouldn't say even in general. A lot of the time. There's instances you can point to where he'll call them fights. But always with Moxley, he always goes, it's a fight instead of like a match. That's Moxley. That's Moxley's mark for himself shit.
Shelton Benjamin is somebody who's so impressive, such a great athlete. This is going to be an awesome fight. One-on-one for the first time ever here in AEW. Jon Moxley versus Shelton Benjamin on Wednesday Night Dynamite. Of course, the ROH World Champion.
The match did not live up to the hype, my opinion. I don't know. I was doing a live show, but I was watching it. I don't know.
Bandito. Next week, he's challenging for the AEW World Championship. We've got MJF versus Bandito next Wednesday at Maximum Carnage, but Bandito's always willing to take on fights, all comers. He's the most wanted.
See?
And he's chasing the man who's arguably now in contention for the most wanted, which is MJF. We've seen all these great stars and great champions in wrestling.
So wait, okay. So he's in contention for MJF before tonight's Dynamite. So I just forgot something that happened, but yeah, I don't know. Way to fucking jump the shark, Tone.
Former champions and champions alike coming after MJF. Some of the biggest names ever in AEW, including Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, and Kenny Omega, all making their declaration that they want to fight MJF, and the former World Tag Team Champions Brody King and Bandito.
It's so much, Tone. Who is this for? Who the fuck is this for? This would have been a great opportunity to be like, hey, I have this going on. Jaguars fans, soccer fans, I'm at the Sports Illustrated. This means so much for all of sports, even though AEW won all these awards. It's, check out Dynamite. There's going to be some great matches. If you don't know, now you know. Swerve will be there. Good old JR will be there calling the match. Hangman's there. Check it out, guys. Our world champion will be there, and hopefully we'll take home another chip this year or next year, however the Jags are, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just, who the fuck is this for? Uber sickos who are already going to watch the show. Or me.
Well, Bandito is set to have that opportunity next week, but Sammy Guevara.
Like, does he think saying, the former world tag champions and current world heavyweight champion, and Willow is a double champion with the TBS champion and the tag champs, does he think that's getting people over? This is social media. You're trying to like garner attention, dude, and like talk to your people. This just seems robotic. This seems like Mark Zuckerberg. This seems alien. And I've said it. Tone's clones. Tone's got clones, man. And I just don't know who this is for.
Wants to stop him and wants to hurt him and take his opportunity and put Bandito out before Maximum Carnage. And I'll be honest, I think Sammy's been doing excellent work in 2025. I thought that Sammy and Roosh were such an exciting and interesting team.
What? What? They were so exciting and interesting. They were a team this year? And I do know that they're a team. I do know that. But we've talked about it on the show if you're newly listening. However, come on, man. Did you guys know that, chat? Like, how many people even realize they're a team? It's just crazy.
And it was in November on Collision, wrestling against Bandito in the main event of Collision, where Roosh got hurt. He had a knee injury that sidelined him and has put him out of action. And we saw Mortos coming for revenge on Bandito last week. Well, Sammy made it.
And like, why isn't all of this shit on the show catching you up from the weeks prior, like Raw or SmackDown does? Oh, you just want to sit through a video package? Yeah, TikTok brain. I don't need to just see flip, clothesline, flip, out of the ring, flip, on the table, flip, chair shot, flip. I don't need to, like, that's TikTok shit, bro. Fucking, yes, catch people up, especially when you do a 398K rating. And then you just have a celebration for Willow, and everyone's like, what? LOL, what? Why don't you tell the story how you got there and show it culminating in her winning the title, and then show a vignette later or a graphic later tonight? The fucking Willow celebration or whatever. He just says it on his fucking Twitter live, his X live, and fucking like, this is the same thing as doing a Google it. Like, this is crazy. This is all shit you should be telling on your show. And then you will get people to tune in every week because they know that they'll understand what's going on if you miss a week.
Clear he's coming to take out Bandito. And Bandito is the most wanted, and he's one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. And I'm so excited to have Bandito versus Sammy tomorrow. And one man who's going to be watching that extremely closely is the AEW World Champion, MJF. MJF will be there. We'll hear from him live. And surely he'll be watching Bandito versus Sammy very closely with just 1 week to Maximum Carnage. And so much to look forward to. One of the greatest wrestlers in the world, somebody who will be...
And it's like, what the fuck is Maximum Carnage, you know? We know, but again, it's like, imagine you just are, okay, I'm interested in what the fuck?
Awarded tonight at the Sports Illustrated Awards.
He just throws so much shit at you.
The best on the mic, Timeless Toni Storm. And she's also one of the best in the ring. She's one of the greatest wrestlers in AEW. What a fantastic star Timeless Toni Storm is. And she's got a real grudge against...
in all of wrestling, Sports Illustrated votes Toni Storm the best on the mic.
Marina Shafir, that has been growing and developing.
It's been growing and developing, even though we don't talk about it. Okay, I got a couple super chats. Let me read. We're just taking a quick break from Tone here, and we'll continue along with that. Honor Sharp For 5, says Tony can't sleep. He's had at least a week of his ADD meds and whatever else he is prescribed, in quotation. Hey, now, that is allegedly. Right? That's a great chat. I'm not a shark, I'm a man. For 2, says TK was on a 72-hour Addy binge playing Imagination. Again, this
allegedly.
Allegedly, right? But yeah, it wouldn't shock me. Jesus Christ. Yeah, imagine what he's getting up to in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Imagine what he's getting up to in Vegas.
Acknowledge me.
What else is chat saying here? Molds grow and develop too, Tony. I'm tapping out. Well, don't quit on yourself. Bro, they can't even do a lights out match, right? Yeah, did you guys see the lights botch at the beginning? Okay, let's continue with the Cringe, with the Tony Cringe.
And I thought it would be fantastic to have a one-on-one match, Timeless Tony Storm versus Marina Shafir, as part of this great Wednesday Night Dynamite to start 2026. In addition to all that great action and all these great things, there's been some more great wrestling and so many great things in AEW in 2025. And one thing that was hard for the fans on New Year's Smash was to see the Luchasaurus attacked and put out. We've seen Ricochet involved in...
Whoa, so is this video about SI or is it about fucking Dynamite and Collision and all this shit? He's all over the place.
That attack along with the GOA, the Demand, and...
The GOA, the Demand. Why do they have all these names? How do you expect to market this to anybody? Just call them Gates of Agony or the fucking Demand, buddy. What the fuck, man? Like this, the GOA, the Demand. Imagine you're just a regular person and you hear him saying this shit and you're just like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? What are you saying?
Ricochet is one of the most talented wrestlers. He's the national champion. But I can't say I agree with his conduct or the way that they put Luchasaurus out of action. Now, this past week on Collision, we found out there's a bounty on the heads of Jet Speed. And it's been split. It's split like a check at dinner between Don.
Oh my God, was that Tone's attempt at a fucking joke? It's split. It's split like a check at dinner. You like that one?
Best guys, Tony Khan.
Oh my God, it's split like a check at dinner. Tone, what girl, who are you taking out? Tone, we all know the wrestlers make you fucking pay for every fucking dinner ever. Tone, we all know when the waitress comes around with the bill, all the wrestlers get up to pee at the same time, and you foot the bill. Tone, what are you talking about?
Now, this past week on Collision, we found out there's a bounty on the heads of Jet Speed, and it's been split. It's split like a check at dinner between Don Callis and Ricochet, these golfing buddies who've really apparently formed quite a little friendship here, but also they're two of the least liked people in AEW, and maybe they've found common ground.
Well, they split a bounty, and then Ricochet's working with the Callis family. Tone, you fucking suck, buddy. You're a fucking terrible booker, dude. You're the fucking worst booker ever, my God. Oh my God, dude. You're the fucking worst booker ever. Oh my God.
And I know that Jet Speed successfully escaped without that bounty being cashed in at Collision, but Jet Speed are going to be at Dynamite. We saw last week a great match with Jungle Jack Perry and Ricochet. It was unfortunate what happened to the Luchasaurus, but I know that Jungle Jack Perry and Jet Speed are all looking to get some payback and settle some issues with the Demand, in particular Ricochet, but also the GOA. So
in particular Ricochet, but also the GOA. Yeah, you just said the Demand, bro.
I thought that would be an excellent trios match for tomorrow on Wednesday Night Dynamite. I think that would be a great match. Jet Speed and Jungle Jack Perry versus Ricochet, the national champion, and then the GOA. It would make a lot of sense, and it would be a great addition to the show and round out what I think is going to be an awesome Dynamite to start 2026. Coming off a great 2025, now I'm heading to the red carpet for the Sports Illustrated Awards, where AEW has received 10 awards in total, including the great wrestlers and staff, and all of you fans that can share in the best wrestling promotion in the world as voted by Sports Illustrated in 2025.
And you, the fans. Hold on. No, Tony, now you're lying, because John Alba had a little hissy fit spurg out on JD, right?
Sure thing, bro. Sure thing.
And now Tony's lying because it wasn't voted on by the fans. It was John Alba. Is that what he said? Let me just, before I go off.
Awards, where AEW has received 10 awards in total, including the great wrestlers and staff, and all of you fans that can share in the best wrestling promotion in the world as voted by Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, okay. Just the way he's wording, he's trying to be like, the fans, all of you said it's the best. No, I know that's what you want to say, and you're trying to get at that tone, but no, John Alba said it's a fucking the Sicko 7. 7 people, the Sports Illustrated Sicko 7, dude. That is now how they are known.
You just made the list.
All right. And remember, you heard that here at PWT first. But Sports Illustrated's SI Sicko 7 are the 7 people that, they all voted on this apparently and gave you guys all these awards, because there's clearly not an agenda to get you at this award show, because you're not allowed at the ESPYs or whatever.
In 2025 is AEW. We'll receive the award tonight. I'm heading to the SI
Fans had nothing to do with this.
Awards, and I can't wait to
That's
see
why they let you illegally stream it to your fucking Twitter, Tone.
Tomorrow, live on TBS, the Superstation, or on HBO Max at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, I know, Chad. I was reaching on that one. I just misunderstood him at first, but still. I'm trying to get to the Sports Illustrated Sicko 7 here, okay?
7 p.m. Central. We'll see you all very soon for Wednesday Night Dynamite. Thank you very much, and I hope that you all have a great night.
See you very soon, as in tomorrow. So it's like Time Cop, because tonight I'll see you at the Sports Illustrated Awards. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was AE fucking W news all together. Ichi Nissan da. And the best guys, Tony
Khan.
Hell yeah. So I got one more. They're doing an overrun, so will I. We got one more segment, little short segment to get to. Since we're making fun of sickos, you guys know what it is. And let me check in with chat here. Wow, thank you guys for all the support. Round of applause for the PW fucking T, 260 plus watching here across YouTube and X. Thank you guys. Make some noise for the PWT universe. Supporting your boy Phil Marks. You guys can become a member for only 99 cents. I do bonus shows every fucking Monday, where we do different shit pretty much every Monday, and it's fun. And or consider checking out patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes, or you can super chat in. Thank you. A ton of super chats tonight. I just, and a bunch of members and memberships. I appreciate you all so much. You guys all rule. I acknowledge, even if you guys are just hitting like or hate watching or whatever. Thank you so much.
Acknowledge me.
Okay. Chris McCarty 42 says Tony is what happens when your kid sniffs glue. Man, it's like the movie Airplane, where he's like, I picked the wrong day to quit, or the wrong week to quit smoking. I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Oh, come on now, Eric.
That's funny. Honor Sharp, a member for 20 goddamn months, says Tony loves Vegas. He actually touched a boobie. You know what they say.
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
You know what they say. I'm not a shark. I'm a man. This is some billionaire humiliation ritual, right? Yeah, dude. Next thing, he'll have a black eye. He'll join the Black Eye Club next. It's happening. I've had intel tell me it's right around the corner. Oh, man. For real, though. It's like some sort of fucking humiliation ritual or something, dude. That's what a lot of these WWE wrestlers are going through. Ex-WWE who go to AEW. Thank you guys so much for the super chats and the support. So this match is just for the sickos. I think there's cinder blocks laid out there. You guys can see the cinder blocks. I've worked in masonry. Those aren't cinder blocks. See, Masons, Freemasons, Masonry, Illuminati. I told you guys. The humiliation ritual. There's a crisis actor acting as Tony Khan right now. No, I should stop fucking around. This is jokes, folks. This is I love YouTube. Will War Dogs join their friends in AEW? Damn, man. Chat's going crazy too. Like, you guys fucking rule. The War Dogs join their friends in AEW, former leader Tama and WWE. I don't know. Some of them are staying, some of them are going, dude. Should I stay or should I go? Nah. Only team that feels like they had a better turnaround this year is my Pats. You fucking Mark. Those cinder blocks look like the same thing your kids get to paint. I've been researching and posted a possible PWT meetup plan in Discord. Damn, there you go. Hell yeah. I hope the Bills beat down the Jags. All right now, you football sons of bitches. Pats suck. It's poetic. All the dojo geeks are getting their revenge for all the beatdown Swerve and Page gave them. Okay, let's get into a little segment that really nobody enjoys, and it's nobody's favorite segment, and it is called the Sicko Segment. So Resident Sicko, one of my OG fools here at PWT, John Alba, is becoming like a new Meltzer. People are saying they're Meltzering himself, and he is clearly shilling for AEW. He's out there like, this has got to stop. Leave Tony alone. When it comes to comparing TNA to AEW and whatnot. And so here is Jim Cornette's take on John Alba. And I love this. This is how you know that John Alba's entering fool's territory, because now
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
People like Cornette trash. I mean, he did in the past, right? Like, this is an older clip. Clearly Travis Eckel made this thumbnail and whatnot. I think, right? Yeah, this is the old art stylings of Travis Eckel. Shout him out. But yeah, this is Jim Cornette's take from a while back on Alba.
Who's the guy that's saying that that Page is just a star that would have been a star in any era in the 70s, the 80s, and the territories?
I saw that.
Yeah, so John Alba said about Hangman Page that in any era, Hangman is awesome because in any era he'd be a star. And I disagree. I think in any federation, he'd be a star. In today's landscape, back in the day, I do not think so at all. I just got to be honest.
Star in any era in the 70s, the 80s, and the territories.
And I said that a while ago when Alba said it.
I saw that.
That he's goddamn what Magnum TA would have been.
What Magnum TA? Bro, Magnum TA would have had fucking Hangman carrying his bags, dude.
Yeah, so it was some guy apparently who I saw in his bio. It says he's on SNY. I've never seen him, but apparently he does some wrestling podcasts here and there.
Magnum TA would have been fucking, and maybe this is too high to rate him, but he'd have been like a Triple H level type guy, you know? Would he have lasted? Like, how old was he? Would he have lasted in through an era of WWE when it was white hot? And could he have been like an opponent for like Piper and Hogan and those guys, or like even in WCW doing shit? I'm sure he could have. Like in some of those peaks, would he have been around then? I'm sure there was a lot of guys. I mean, shit. Look at how long fucking Flair went. He went till his heart stopped, you know? So maybe Magnum, like, he would have been like at least a Triple H or above level undisputed champ discussion of like, well, he's a multi-time world champion. No, that's the way I view him. I don't view Hangman quite as that. Hangman's a guy who goes to WWE and he wins the world heavyweight title a few times. but like maybe not, he's like not a lengthy reign. Like Damian Priest got it once. That could just be it. And not even to shit on Priest. I've said it. Not everybody even needs the world title. That's how I view Hangman. He'd get the world title, I think. If Triple H booked him, Triple H would know how to book Hangman cool. Him and Paul Heyman and those guys, they would know how to do Hangman cool. I'm so positive of that. But at the same time, yeah, he'd be like NXT champ or like maybe grab the world champ one time. I don't think WWE champ. Well, Mox won it.
What is SNY?
The Mets Network.
Oh, good Lord.
But I don't know. But that tweet went around.
The guy to Triple H thoughts tweeted, yeah, sure. He'll go into business for himself on live TV. He's got butterfly jeans and a fucking fake.
And guys, when I say Triple H level, don't get it fucking twisted. You guys know what I mean. I've broken this down. Triple H is the guy, like when Austin wasn't there, when Rock wasn't there, if Undertaker was hurt or whatever the fuck, Triple H is like the guy. He is always like in the top 6. He was always the guy you go to when you need someone to go to. Type thing. And even DX was super over and shit. So I get it. I'm not saying Triple H is like the god of wrestling. I'm saying TA would have been around like about that. I don't think he'd have like eclipsed Stone Cold and shit. Do you think he would have been like a Stone Cold? We talk about Cena, Hogan, Stone Cold, Magnum TA. I think to become that famous and to become that guy is such an anomaly. Like Taker, people argue whether or not Taker should even be considered in that of like Mount Rushmore all-time great, because there's other guys you can name who drew and did so much for the business. Undertaker sort of gets shafted on the Mount Rushmores and shit. So that's what I'm saying. TA would be like right below there. He'd be one of those guys who maybe wasn't like, didn't have the John Cena run, and maybe I'm wrong. We don't know. We don't have fucking time machines. This isn't Time Cop. But just to compare Hangman to that, I think is so cooked.
Cowboy that would certainly get over in any era. I didn't do that tweet justice, but I retweeted it because I didn't want to steal his material. But what kind of delusional fuckwit is this guy that who is it called? Page Hangman Page? It was more like Magnum LGBTA.
Let's fucking go, dude. That's a great fucking line right there.
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
In what era would Harley Race and Bruno Sammartino have main evented against Adam Page?
Well, I think the thing is that he's making a comment about someone he personally likes, but he doesn't know anything about wrestling.
I think the Hangman's a cool name. Hangman Page. That is a cool name. He's got a look, but it's just, this is the problem with, this happens a lot with AEW and sickos, dude. They look at a wrestler and go, he looks like this guy, so just compare him to this guy. It's what Magnum TA would have been. Magnum TA would have been way bigger than this guy, man.
Before probably the 90s. So he's saying, this guy could have fit into anywhere in the 70s. What the fuck does this guy know?
Magnum, what was it? LGBTA? Magnum LGBTA. That is golden. I don't know who came up with that. If it was corny, that fucking rules. So I had to cringe at Conrad. Oh, come on now, Phil. That's not very fair. Speaking of fools, Conrad's chill.
Come on now, Eric.
Come on, no, Phil. That's not very fair to keep ragging on me. But Conrad had this to say. So this guy, Jared Toronto Bud, says, hey, Conrad, I'm just watching WWE Raw and not reading spoilers, not on dirt sheets, and not watching WWE Unreal. So kayfabe works, yet WWE is airing Unreal clips on my kayfabe programming. So how do I actually keep kayfabe alive? And this is what I said to Conrad. This was my tweet.
Come
to
on
him,
now,
right?
Eric.
He he said that WWE is airing Unreal clips. Yeah, so I said that to Conrad. I was like, yo, that's not how the algorithm works, Conrad. You can't fucking sit there. Oh, come on, Conrad. That's not very fair. You can't sit there and say like, oh, just watch any other wrestling promotion, which is what he's doubling down on. So he literally said the thing. Watch any other wrestling promotion. And it's like, dude, that is not the answer. Okay. It just reeks of sickodom. WWE, if you want to watch Raw, you turn it on Netflix. The algorithm's going to feed you the dirt sheet bullshit. If you like pro wrestling posts on Twitter, Conrad expects you to not be able to live a regular life if you're a wrestling fan like everyone else, if you don't want to see kayfabe, because kayfabe will be shoved down your throat. That's terrible. That's the worst fucking mentality to have ever. Watch TNA. Yeah, they pull everyone the dirt sheets. Everyone pulls the fucking curtain back. And there's no avoiding it. So, speaking of no avoiding it, sickos, they were going to melt down on Matt Cardona, which they did about him vacating these indie titles, and Steph DeLander defended him. And, her defense, though, and I will give this to sickos because they're redacted. They are not going to understand this perspective, but some sicko tweeted out, Indie God not finishing his dates and vacating the 4 belts he holds to fulfill his dream of losing to Tama Tonga every Friday. And then Steph DeLander says, do y'all understand that most of the time it isn't up to the wrestlers, LOL? Now, Steph, that's a brilliant response, but fucking sicko redacts aren't going to fucking understand even what you're saying there. So it's like, that's not even worth it to say that to that dude. He's just going to be like, yeah, exactly, bowing down, shilling for they don't understand. It's like the NFL offers you a contract. You're a football player. You fucking take a chance, dude. You take a risk. They're taking a chance. WWE comes to knock in Cardona, and they go, and you can be Matt Cardona. That's his dream come true. That's him proving what he set out to prove. He's not going to miss that opportunity. I don't know, man. It's fucking cringe. And SDL's right. SDL with a $sign, hey, is right. But that the person you're responding to doesn't understand even what you're saying. That's the fucking problem. And we're going to circle back to these sickos just not understanding shit like Lbou. And this sicko right here who saw Kairi Sane take a back bump, lands on her back, and then she does this, like her legs got folded up above her head, whatever, pause, and she takes a back bump. And then this guy, Swerve Elite Land, I am all elite. Hi, William Regal. Like such a fucking stupid idiot that he compares Fletcher to this, to a bump where you land on your back and her hands are out and everything, and then her legs are just folded up. And this is somehow the same thing as Fletcher being suplexed, landing directly on his head with his feet in the fucking air, spiked upwards, doing a handstand at the behest of Moxley, slamming him off the top rope. These motherfuckers, all it does is prove, imagine being so retarded, you go, hi, William Regal, and then you just proved Regal right. You just pwned yourself. Because you're proving William Regal's point. That when Regal said, what did he say? Most of these fans can't tell the difference between a suplex and a brain buster. You're literally proving his point. You can't even tell if they're being dropped on their neck correctly. What's a correct bump? None of you fucking sickos do, because you just want to see people fly through tables, get hung with chains like that fucking shit show we just watched, and other dumb bullshit, and fishbowl drownings. And you want to see Ospreay's career end when he's fucking 34. Okay? And you can't even tell the difference between these fucking moves. So why do these people go out there and break their necks literally? Adam Cole themselves literally. Will Ospreay themselves literally. Shibata themselves literally. Tanahashi's legs fucking turned inside out, dude. Looking like fucking Demogorgon knees. Literally. For you fucking sickos, when you can't even tell the difference. You don't even understand what you're watching. It just proves him right. And speaking of which, Lbou, again, one of my OG fools who has just started this year off. And people, I love that people are digging up like Lbou eating cereal, some of the old bits that we covered. already over the years, like Lbou eating cereal out of a paper plate, like a paper bowl, literally eating milk with cereal out of a paper bowl, like the dummiest dumb shit. Posting the pancakes that are like a centimeter thick, and he's like, why are they bubbling? And it's like, because bro, you're overcooking it on the one side. And he's taking it to, so like, what are you doing? Right? So people are digging those up, and it's just funny. It's just funny. And one that got dug up, that deserves to be dug up, because Lbou's just saying stupid shit here. And this is what Lbou had to say about season 2. And he goes, WWE Unreal Season 2 is built around a worked injury that worked to no serious people. Right? So that's what Lbou says. Right? WWE Unreal Season 2 is built around a worked injury that worked to no serious people. Oh, really? As Ace Ventura would say. Because this is back in July. Lbou says, they didn't steal a single headline. They set their NXT talent up to fail because they worked hard and most people didn't watch the show live when they could have had their own night. Seth Rollins is now injured and Goldberg's speech got cut off. Well done. Great job. Oh, so you got worked by that shit? And now, and this is why Lbou, birds of a feather, flock together. This is why Lbou and Meltzer and Alba, they're sucking the same balls, and they glaze up to each other. Fucking Dave is always snuggling up tight to Lbou, quote tweeting each other. This is why this shit happens. I'm not. It's fucking brutal, and I feel really bad for Seth. He doubles down. It's fucking brutal, and I feel so bad for Seth because he got fucking worked. Okay? But then here's Lbou saying it worked no serious people. Oh, really? Exactly. No, it did, because you're not a serious person. You got worked by it. You're not a serious person.
Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
Meanwhile, your boy Phil called that Seth fucking injury from day one. I called it while we watched Raw live on the members show. Now, Lbou wants to pull a Meltzer and go back in hindsight, just like Meltzer recently. I'll give you a one-to-one example. Meltzer, and we're going to roast him tomorrow. Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week podcast live tomorrow, live on Thursdays on YouTube. Tomorrow, tonight. See you in a few minutes. Time cop. But Dave Meltzer just said that boy, that Ethan Page is going to be a star. He carries himself like a star. I post the fucking screen grab. We covered this on the show. You guys remember? In 2022, Dave said that Ethan Page wouldn't be a star on his message board, even if he went to NXT or WWE. And if Tony booked him differently, Ethan Page wouldn't be a star. Now Dave is like, oh, that guy will sure be a star. And then when you point that out to him, he's going to go, well, if you read my Bible and what I wrote, you'll know that it means that fucking, that's what Dave does. He goes, you'll know if you read my 80 million words, you'll know that I wrote about it. Even though that's what he fucking said, and he condescended someone on his message board. In hindsight, Dave always goes, oh, this is some stupid shit. You should have read what I wrote, because then you know. And it's like, bro, we're showing you what you wrote. We're showing you what you wrote. And that's what Lbou does now. No serious people got worked. Yeah, exactly. You just proved, because you got worked by it, and you're a fucking unserious person. And also in chat, you guys are saying, let yourself get worked. I fully agree. It's not about calling it. It's not about being right all the time. It's not about all these snooty fucks. I get it all the time. Oh, Phil, actually, this fucking, it's like, dude, yeah, we love to fantasy mark book here. It's a part of it. It's a part of fandom. It's what I said earlier with the Stranger Things thing. Yeah, conformity gate probably isn't a fucking thing. Why are you mad that people are doing it? It's a fucking TV show. We should be marking out about this shit and planning and all, and you should get worked. Being worked is why we watch wrestling. These fucking tards think that it's like cool and elite and smart fans to be like, we know it's a work. Yeah, we all know everything's a work. Meanwhile, Dave and Brian get triggered when Wade Barrett says, oh, and Rey Mysterio, the greatest luchador of all time, Cole. And he gets fucking upset. Him and Brian, El Santo, actually. Can you believe they said that? Yeah, it's called kayfabe, you dumb fucks. Like, do you guys even understand? None of these sickos understand what is even going on. They're so caught up in their smug bullshit and this bubble, this observer bubble, and this sicko hive mind where they don't fucking we're proving it time and time again. Alba is talking about Hangman's Magnum TA. The fuck are you watching, buddy? Lbou's saying, oh, no serious people got worked, and then he's talking about how and then you go back and he got fucking worked. Dave Meltzer and Brian getting triggered by the shit that they get triggered by. These sickos not knowing, as William Regal would say, a suplex from a brainbuster, and looking at Kyrie Sane taking a fucking razor's edge and thinking it's the same thing as Moxley dumping that kid on his fucking neck. They're just tards. So Lbou, and you can't take them serious. And that's why no one takes anyone serious when they're like these fucking accounts, AAR Gold and all these guys. That's why you just get dunked on 24/7. But anyway, so Lbou got worked by that. And then here's him just writing the dumbest shit ever, thinking he's prolific. So this guy says, are you advocating for motherfuckers getting hurt? And then Lbou goes, listen to this dumb shit. This fucking stupid Mark who's never taken a bump. Does this guy work out? Do you even lift, bro? You guys remember that from a decade ago? Do you guys, you even lift, bro? Right? Does this guy, like, what does he do? What has he done? He's like one of these dudes who's like, I'm pretty, I'm handsome. Like, that's the type of shit. He's one of these pretty boy fucking goofballs. No one gives a fuck, dude. Wrestlers that aren't willing to give it all up for the game. You guys hear this? This is what give it all up. So give it all up. So all meaning your health. So this is what you give up in pro wrestling, your body. You give up your fucking body. The miles and the money, that's what's real. The toll it takes on your body, you can't go back. So he's saying give it all up. What's the most dire outcome and consequence of a pro wrestling match? Do. Chat, anyone? Bueller. Let Dr. Phil educate you guys. What is the most dire consequence of pro wrestling? What would be just giving all? It's sacrificing your health at the least, taking a toll on your body at the least, at the worst, death. Right? Yes, we expect wrestlers to give it their all, just like in any competition, but it's also entertainment to where I don't expect Arnold Schwarzenegger to really jump an exploding car in Terminator and kill himself in Minecraft just to fucking, in a movie, just to entertain me. These sickos are conflated. Like, they really want people to die. They really want people's careers to end. They want Tanahashi's knees to get Demogorgon, so he's walking around like Matt Hardy. That's what they want, bro. And I've said this for years now, since the beginning of PWT. I've said this. These people like move corn. They just want to watch a car crash. They just would be happy looking up move highlights and then just moving on to the next fed. They don't give a fuck. This is peak signal. It is. And they just want these guys to paralyze themselves and end their careers early. Give it all. And listen for this guy's reasoning. The most Mark dumbass shit ever. Wrestlers that aren't willing to give it all up for the game out there aren't real wrestlers that will be remembered. So did Hulk Hogan not give it all up? Is Becky Lynch not giving it all up for the fucking... Is Kevin Owens, who might never wrestle again, is he not giving it all up? Who's not a real wrestler? Who are you talking about, buddy? So wrestlers have to end up like Ospreay or else they're not giving it all up for you? that will be remembered. Tons of wrestlers who aren't fucking paralyzed are remembered. In fact, more than are, you know what I mean? More wrestlers are remembered. And we've pointed this out. Stone Cold, John Cena, Roman Reigns, The Rock, Batista, the most famous Hulk Hogan, the most famous fucking guys. And Hogan was even fucked up. Look how bad Hogan was fucked up. It killed him. Ultimately, he wouldn't have been taking all those back surgeries and going into fucking shock and needing pills and all this shit if it wasn't for what he did. So what is giving it all up, man? You're a fucking clown. Wrestlers that will be remembered. I promise you, Batista and John Cena will be remembered more than Will Ospreay forever. I promise you that. I promise you. Brock Lesnar will, and even Brock did crazy shit. He even landed on his fucking neck a bunch. And he only did crazy shit a couple times, dude. And it's not like we don't want to see crazy shit. But there's a reason why luchadors, people like Ray, can do it for a longer period of time. You want to wrestle like a cruiserweight or you want to wrestle like a heavyweight? You got to pick a fucking lane, dude. And that's all anyone's saying. Okay? That's all anyone's saying. It takes a toll on everybody. Football players, it happens to everybody. Okay? And if you want this, Lbou, go and watch Real Fighting, because that's where they put it all on the line. That's where they go, and guess what, Lbou? They really go and fucking fight, and they go out there, and a lot of these fighters are willing to die. They sign it on the contract when they go in there. You want to see people put it all and just fuck themselves up? That's what professional fighting is, real fighting. These fucking marks think they're watching a shoot when it comes to AEW and these guys landing on their heads. And they think it's a shoot when they're watching guys do garbage fucking deathmatch spots. And so Lbou goes, do you want to be a chapter or a footnote? Lbou, a footnote has been Ospreay's career in AEW so far. It's been a footnote in his career, let alone the history books. He ain't done shit compared to Kurt Angle, who can't even lift his fucking arms anymore, dude. He ain't done shit, and he's fucked his neck. Look at Adam Cole. What do you mean a footnote? What do you mean a footnote? He would be right if Kenny Omega was more famous than like one of these guys. If Omega was more, or Ospreay or Ibushi or Shibata, if one of them were more famous than Stone Cold or Batista, I'd shut the fuck up right now. I'd shut the fuck up. And even Stone Cold broke his neck wrestling one of the GOATs. I'd fucking shut the fuck up right now. Your boy Phil would shut up right the fuck now and end the show. But none of that shit is reality. Omega's not more famous. Ospreay will never be more famous than fucking any of these guys that he has more stars than. This is actually disgusting. This is disturbing. And Lbou says, you won't die when your heart stops beating. You die when you're forgotten. No, you die when your heart stops beating. This isn't some main character fucking TikTok video that your little zesty ass is watching. Oiled up, fucking chapsticked up, dude. It's not what's going on, Lbou. You son of a bitch. Tell that to fucking, Darren Drozdov or whatever, who's passed away, I believe, right? RIP. Tell that to the people whose years are taken off their lives because of this shit. Die when you're forgotten. By who? Cage match ratings? You fucking redact sicko. By who? You? You forget that fucking liquid breaks paper down, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? You enter this game to be remarkable. No, Lbou. You enter this game to make money and work fucking marks like you out of your money. Okay?
You fucking mark!
You enter this game because you love it and you want a better life for your family, and you see an end game, you want to contribute, you get into the game to leave it better than it was than when you got into it. You don't fucking do it to, like, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. to do what the people in the seats don't have the guts to do. This is the problem. The people in the seats do have the guts to do it. And especially when you're pushing wrestlers like Orange Cassidy and shit. Okay? Most people don't have the guts to just get up in front of a room of people and talk to them. So it's true with cutting promos too, bud. Stacy Keibler was more over at her peak than Ospreay ever will be. Chyna was, and she didn't do shit. Some of these ladies stood there, looked pretty, and fucking Chyna did 3 moves poorly and got over as fuck. You're a dummy, buddy. And then Lbou goes, that's what makes pro wrestlers the most unique human beings on the planet. And I quote tweeted this and said, what makes Lbou the most unique human being on the planet is his sub room temperature fucking IQ and these shitty takes. A friend of the show, so that's Lbou being a fool. Friend of the show, JJ Alexander, tweeted out, "Hi, I'm AR Gold, and I don't understand what a fucking heel is. Bitch, shut the fuck up." JJ always hits people with the bitch, shut the fuck up. That's my guy. We gotta give him a like. So AR Gold tweeted out, WWE fans chanted Tony fumbled for a few weeks, and now they don't care at all about Ricky Starks. Shut the fuck up, Zilla. Whoop that trick. They're chanting about everything but him. Well, yeah, JJ said it. It's because he's a heel. That's the point. Not supposed to be chanting for the fucking heels.
Shut up, bitch!
You fucking sickos. But AR Gold is a literal grifter. Like literally just trying to make that Twitter ad rev, just tweeting out shit to try and irk AEW fans and WWE fans. The screen grab is the nice touch there from JJ. You can't give him his retweet shit and all of that because it's actually just human bot activity. Like legitimately. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the Oh my God, what an amazing show. What an amazing turnout all night. What an amazing, we went 345, you guys. What an amazing, guys, we surpassed 2,100 subs on the one channel. We're at 7,400 on the Clips channel. Patreon's popping off. Man, you guys are just great turnouts and just an amazing time through and through. I appreciate you all. Round of applause for yourselves. The PWT universe, you all deserve a round of applause before we get out of here. Chat, you guys were great. I got to get out of here. I hope you enjoyed the Sicko segment. I had a blast tonight. What a great show. And I appreciate you all. I have been your host, Phil Marks. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week. Okay, live on YouTube. And then I will see you guys Saturday for Sicko Saturday. Okay. And I don't know, is there a PLE? Is there anything we're watching on Saturday? Or is it just Collision? And don't forget the TNA. For TNA, we're going to watch the first one on AMC together as well. Okay. Thank you guys. See you later. I've been Phil Marks. You guys have been amazing. Peace.
I look and see it's not just me.
Jeff, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. We call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're 1 and 1 for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense, but it makes.
Well, yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling's always been about making money first and foremost. That's That's it.
I look and see it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. We call this problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless smile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand, we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. We call this problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless smile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand, we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Get wild! Yeah!
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah!
God damn it.